It's time for the Dirty Laundry Podcast with your hosts, Doc Noise, Wade Hampton, and Paul Rank.
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on! Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, live / recorded in Vegas. Bill, Paul, Wade, and I say our thoughts. Sounds like something bad. Wade had other stuff to take care of. Unfortunately, couldn't make it out here. But of course, you two have worked a lot together to put this event on, and it's here. And Paul, you've been in the room since what, 5 something?
I think 5:15. I walked down here. They told me they can open it up at 5, so I wanted to get down here and just make sure everything was set on the tables. And we setup was supposed to start at 6, but I think Bill, you showed up at 5:25.
I slept in and rolled in at 5:20.
Yes, yeah. And I did send a message to everyone to make sure their phones pinged at 5:10 or something. Thought that.
Walking in last night, I got into Vegas about 3:30, ran into you, a giant ass lobby, and run right into you two.
Yes.
That was phenomenal. And then get up here, and of course, Mitch has been setting up for 4 days. It's in real life. But I mean, my God, walking into this room even this morning and talking to people yesterday about what's going on. 2 rooms. We've got this room and actually a room next door, and it is full. And Bill and I received messages. I know, look for that, or you guys probably won't see this out there. That's crap. Yeah. I don't think there's not many teams that are not represented in this room, both college and pro.
Oh yes, it's the turnout's incredible. Earlier that day, we came in here to see the tables and that, and they're just like, this is not going to work. You guys have way too much stuff in this room, and it's a great, it's a good sized room. We're overlooking casinos, so they gave us another room to put in. That room's packed. This room's packed.
And we still got some tables in each room to sit down, and people are because it's, again, we started earlier. People eating breakfast or soon to be lunch, and then we'll go down to the bar and have a drink up here, and it's going to be a great day. 4 game did not turn out. I mean, awesome game, double overtime, but didn't turn out the way you and Monica were hoping.
No, that was the most stressful hockey game I've ever been at. It was a very weird crowd. I mean, last year the Frozen Four was loud, crazy, and all that. Everyone was just.
Did it get that way, especially as you guys went through the first overtime and then into the second?
It got worse and worse, on that. But, even during the game, it was stressful. I don't remember either team having an odd man rush the whole game. And we came up on the short end, and it was painful.
You can't shame. I mean, if it was a blowout, one thing, you could be really upset. I mean, just to be out here to see that. And yeah.
And you had to go through the whole thing with the bars being closed.
Right.
Yes.
Not have beer.
So what I did learn for this, they had, if you were in the suite level, which you could walk up to, you could buy a drink ticket for $90 for all you could drink.
Wow.
And that they kept open during the overtime. If you were at both games, because
$90, the house loses the advantage.
Yeah, yes, especially with double overtime.
That doesn't happen much in Vegas.
Not at all.
Especially you living here know that. But in the room, starting with you, Paul.
Well, the biggest surprise was Martin Ball.
Yes.
Just
holy cow.
All of a sudden, there's this huge German behind me. And, I've been bugging him for, we've been planning this for a long time. We know Frozen come on out. And when we were in Dusseldorf back last August, September, it's like, come on, Martin, you got to come out for this. It's like, no, I can't make it. So Martin worked with Bill, and I don't know, bump into him. It's like, what the hell are you doing here? It's just like, Monica and I were both shocked. And that was better than seeing any of the incredible jerseys that,
He wanted to surprise you. We've been talking for a couple months up on him. I want to surprise him. Don't tell him I'm coming. We made arrangements, taking care of everything with him.
And when did he actually get in?
I think was it last night, maybe?
Okay.
Might have been last night.
I
didn't see him until this morning.
I take that back. He was actually surprised because it was 45 minutes. So that blew him away how quick the process getting into the country was. He was just amazed by it. Hey, good for him. And first time I met him and last time I saw him was in Chicago.
Yes.
And 2 years from now, we'll be back in Chicago.
Yes.
So, and what's surprised you most today?
The number of people here is way more than I expected. We've got a lot of walk-ins. We've had people around. A lot of impressive jerseys here that people just aren't expecting to see. I'm not sure really what they were expecting, but it's more than what they were expecting. We've had a lot of foot traffic, a lot of great comments.
And nobody, as usual, I mean, as every expo, nobody's really just sitting talking and meeting people for the first time or for if they've talked many times. I mean, all of us have talked online, but putting the faces with the messages. And I mean, you've got a whole section over there of Almighty Deal Kings, but you've got a whole section of Flyers. I mean, it is just amazing. And the college stuff is all over the board. And you mentioned people coming to the door. The somewhat unexpected, I think, foot traffic was wandering in the room and different things. And it's cool to be in this environment.
And this is actually my first expo too. So I wasn't
deep into
I wasn't 100% sure what to expect. I will say this is, I think, the second. I'm still not convinced he exists.
He is. Paul, you live right by him and see him constantly. And Mitch and I talk a lot online of things going on and whatnot. But it's being around him is just.
Yes.
But
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
just walking through his setup and how he built it and the display cases and how he acquired those just off Facebook Marketplace and modified them for his stuff. It's just things like that. I'm trying to display. How should I do this and that? Or even just things like that. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy or crazy. Because I've even had a couple people, and I mentioned on the podcast, reach out going, "Oh, I'm embarrassed. I don't really have a way to handle tables that are set up that way." Nobody's going to make fun of you, rash you about it, or go, "Oh, his look like crap compared to this one." It doesn't matter. You're here showing them off.
We will make fun of Mitch.
Well,
But,
that's his
yeah.
thing. But I mean, you've got all kinds of styles here, from fancy mannequins, big metal racks, to just laying them on the table. So what? Here, you're showing them off. That's what matters.
And the nice part is things like that, and everybody's just shared.
You
And
got boxes of hangers mailed to your house.
Nice.
I mean,
So, one thing we probably should mention is one of our sponsors of the show,
Oh,
Public
yes.
Display. Is this showing up, Doc?
oh, very, very
Yeah.
much so. Well,
So they made for everyone displaying here name tags, to wear, and then also one for the table.
locker room nameplate style ones for the table. I actually need to send him a picture of the setup Mitch did for him here, but yeah, he knocked it out of the park with that. We're doing a Golden Knights locker door sign giveaway here at the Expo as well. So we'll
Nice.
be doing that shortly. But no, Patrick Collection. It's awesome to have. I wish he was here, but have our two sponsors, both Mitch with Drink Your Face Off and Patrick here doing this, and again, just an awesome thing. The other group is VGK Authentics.
Yeah.
And people are loving that because they brought a $500 grab bag, bought a $1,000 grab bag. Which did you pick me up the $1,000 one just because?
yeah,
I saw that,
It's not been drawn yet. So
and there's only a couple left.
Yeah.
But
better get on that.
I mean, the amount of stuff that they brought, and you guys talk about when San Jose comes and Melly with the Kings not long ago, and of course, it has just become such a cool thing that more NHL teams, Authentics, are getting on board with these expos. And God, they've got 2 tables and rack full of jerseys, and their pricing is awesome.
And it was great. They have a whole selection of Henderson Silver Knights jerseys. I know you picked up an equipment bag,
Yep,
and that
just
was by
because I need,
request.
30 some bags at home. I might as well need one more. At least that's easy to throw in my suitcase.
And they've got everything from even like blank Adidas jerseys that were left. So
If you want one, I mean, I know you like sometimes to send them off EPS, let them
Right.
whatnot. I mean,
nice.
it is just so amazing to walk through and see the history. John with his history of Vegas
Right.
hockey, and to him too. And I need to actually text Mike after we get done recording. Conveniently enough, it's Mike McKenna's birthday today. But
happy
John,
birthday, Mike.
yes, John set me up with when they just randomly blew out did a ladies. So he went through years of photos and found 2 years of Mike's and put on a flash drive for me.
Oh, that's
to
great.
Get to Mike. I'll get to him next week when I'm down in St. Louis for some things, but just things like that. And I remember seeing up in the big, what the hell would you call that? They got the much bigger holes in it.
The mesh.
Yeah,
Oh.
the very wide mesh. But those were such a classic style for that for those teams,
Yeah.
and all the history with just the crazy amount of things in this room, and that's why you come to Expo. Besides, number one is just seeing everybody,
Yeah.
catching up, hearing the stories, and I mean, God, the number of us that are pulling out just insane.
Plus, we drank together, what, 3-4 different venues now?
At least.
Yeah.
I've lost track. It's just
Yeah,
like,
the Silver Knights game last night was just insane.
It was wild.
Was it 9-7?
9-6. I think 9-6.
yeah, yeah.
And it was
Who's
wrestling.
counting? Oh, that's at each break, intermission.
And the second between second and third period, you had your mascot wrestling. That was, I
Yeah.
mean,
You got in the ring.
you didn't even did the Barracuda mascot wrestle?
Not that I know
Oh,
of.
this-
So,
oh, what-
the out here. The two of them could have wrestled.
Oh.
So it's just like,
That'd have been phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, you were right on the we were all on the glass,
Yeah.
but you were right up against the Silver Knights bench, and
Right.
just that.
Bony drivers there.
Yes.
we do that all the time.
I know, and
It's cool, but I
It's
know
like all
the
the
kids thing.
all the little
but-
kids, and then there's Paul and Monica. It's
Well, and then by the end of the game, we're all sitting up front doing it. So
Yes,
you
yeah.
were, yeah.
After no,
25% off beers last night too.
So you had to drink 25% more.
Right.
It-
But just
it works
again,
that way.
It's math.
neat setup there, and that's part of the expo stuff. We'd have all gotten together and hung out somewhere and had drinks and told stories. I mean, we could have sat in this room last night, whatever. But that's just part of it. Is just meeting people, telling stories. I mean, Jesus, the number of times we all had our phones out looking at. Well, I just as we go through the day today, I'm going to be pulling. I hope to pull pretty much everybody in this room. We have one of the other things that you pulled off that I think is a first for any expo is the having the in-game announcer will be here shortly. So we'll even interview him, maybe do a couple drops that we can throw in the show and stuff. But just it's so awesome to be out here. And like I said, I've said on past shows, I'm 47, almost 48. It's changed a little bit, but it's just being as soon as you touch down, being in this atmosphere and then doing this on top of it is absolutely awesome. We're gonna get sometime today, get the photo shoot. I need to, I guess, do it soon before people head off to the game with as many. You didn't have, does anybody in the room have, I guess, probably wouldn't be available yet, current winner. Because I guess those wouldn't have even, none of those would have probably been up for sale unless somebody has like a junior.
I can't remember if I have a USA one of his, but that would be at home if I did. So
Well,
I'd
close. But I'd be curious to see when we take those pictures, how many we put together. And actually, one of them, interesting story, and I'm blanking out on his name, has had all the New Jersey stuff. And
Ben.
Jersey Devils one that has 2 Hobie Baker winners that wore it.
And one being Brandon Morrison.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
Just crazy. So we'll have that. We'll, I know, Paul, you've gone around already taking a bunch just for this weekend. I had my phone out, walked around a non-shaky video. So we'll put all that stuff out. But it is so cool. It's neat to see the number of, again, just random fans that are here for the games that have wandered up. Grab a couple of those people and interview them just to see, one, if they've ever seen something like this before and what their thoughts. Because when we've got, I believe, have all the teams that are here represented. I know Michigan.
Oh, that
came here.
Yeah.
But it's neat to see that and just see random people show up. Well, gentlemen, I mean, it's only 10:51 our time. We've done this several hours already as far as wandering around and stuff, but you guys really knocked this out of the park and stuff here. And I mean, your mafia ties, all those kind of things. And side note to that, I did have to laugh coming into the airport that the Mafia Museum has a store in the airport.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
Right.
Yeah. Big thank you to Bill for all the growth.
Just learning from you how to do this, and it being my first expo, you provide the expo stuff. I tried to Vegas it up a bit, and I think we were pretty successful with it.
Yeah, I mean, and getting this set up right next door to the arena, the hotel room rates, since those rates were matched.
And I don't know if the camera can see, looking in the background, we're overlooking the New York casino floor out the windows behind us.
Oh yeah, it's
we're right above the casino.
When and it is a little easy to get lost if you're down and see Teal in the window. Gee, I wonder who set up that was. But it's cool to be able to look up and see that from there too, knowing what's up here. And yeah, I mean, God, you could have worked again when you're connector and we're at T-Mobile. Walking over last night for the Paul Monica and myself made it to the actual Hobie Baker award ceremony was open to the public. It was hot as hell in there. I don't think they answer live. Kind of neat seeing live production being done because the guy yelling as we got in there yelling before of, hey, do this, don't do this kind of thing, and then them going to commercials and the whole bit, and then just seeing the ceremony. Mike Richter up on stage. But the guy that won was drafted by the Red Wings.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
something.
Hey, I'm in.
And it's a Red Wings draft pick who won the Richter Award.
Yeah.
Too.
So
it was a lot of fun. So I want to thank John Nordell for pulling that together because he got the seats for us. That was incredible. It was such a great time.
And you and I was out and explaining why the rink was built there and the story behind it. And it's like he said, a mini Golden Knights rink, kind of same setup, has the castle on the one side. Even I love when they score that the nose holes. So just little things like that. It's like, I love when teams get creative in that way. But yeah, we are going to go through pulling people all day and have you guys jump back in and forth too, as we go throughout this. And it'll be a long show, both in person, the full Las Vegas experience, even if it's remotely.
Coffee throughout the day, then we switch over to booze around 4:00.
And remember, stay hydrated. Water.
Right.
Well, that's the water. I'm not doing the LA mistake again.
Smart. Crap. I knew I forgot something. I always carry liquid IV with me anywhere I go. Just powder to mix with water. Completely forgot. I'm like,
oh no.
I'll balance myself out. But yeah, we actually have water in the room. Thank you for the hotel for providing that stuff too, because that's part of me doing the show. I just have.
I'm ready to take a walk down to the bar.
And see, as I'm texting with my wife and stuff, I had to remember that she's 2 hours ahead. So when we were talking much earlier, Bill's like, hey, it's noon in a few. And again, interview as many people in the room. I don't care if they want to be on the mic or not. They're going to be drug here. But again, thank you for everybody once they hear this later that have come out, that have supported, even posted already. I'll have some out after you hear this. They'll already be out there. But those, no matter what expo is going on, if you're seeing live pictures just posted, don't ever worry about messaging somebody saying for sale. None of us are going to get pissed at you or say it may be sometimes, depending on what's going on, a little bit to get back to you if we're busy or whatnot. But I've had multiple people ask. That's part of it. We're glad to help scout. If somebody can help you out, they will. So with that, gents, we'll let you wander some more, but I'll pull you back in, and we'll have so many guys in the room, and everybody's in a jersey and different things, and it is so much fun. I'm glad we are all here. I mean, frickin' Justin could have come down too. He's just in North. It's funny how many North Dakota people are here.
Oh yeah, imagine that.
No.
Oh.
But with that, we'll take a break and then bring some more people in. And as we go around the room, we pull our first guest in, that being Mitch.
No, it's Ryan.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, we'll get there. So
I did have the pleasure of meeting Mitch, though.
Are you sure? We still think he's a figment of everybody's imagination,
or at least someone who claimed to be Mitch.
Oh, that's
so you traveled just a bit to get here.
Yeah. We left Wednesday, got down here. It was an easy flight, though. You know, I mean, we ended up in Minneapolis out of Fargo, and yeah, a nice 3.5 hour flight. So not bad.
Fortunate with the outcomes, but I mean,
yeah. You know what? North Dakota played so good all year, and great team, but just kind of was a dud. You know, I mean, it happens. So unfortunate that it happened, but you know, it's the way it goes. At least Paul's game was an epic battle, and yeah, like I said, just didn't turn out our way. We didn't have a great day, but you know what? We're gonna make the best of it. It's Vegas. Got to see some amazing jerseys today.
What's been? I mean, besides the fact the one you're wearing is just beat to hell.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, I tell you what. You know, obviously up in North Dakota, we're going to see a lot of NHL stuff.
You really see much of anything being in North Dakota?
No,
right?
No, I mean,
you say you had snow when you left, right?
Yeah, being North Dakota, there was snow. The prior night we got snow, and it was like 25 degrees out with about a 30-mile-an-hour wind. So, and then we landed here, and I think it was 92. So we went from 25 to 92. It was like
a little bit better here.
A shock to your body going from 3 or 4 months of, we'll say, sub 30 degrees to 90 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, we like to inch up, get into the 50s for a little while, and then put on the shorts when it's 50.
Yeah, because it feels like
yeah. I mean, it's probably highs about 75, 80, I think.
Yeah.
But you've been able to enjoy the pool.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, it's funny. You send pictures back to your buddies that are up there, and they're a little jealous.
They can enjoy the water too, but they're skating on it.
Yeah, that is true. 100%. So, but no, to answer your question, like we don't, you just don't get a lot of NHL stuff, and some of this older NHL stuff. I was looking at the cards, and even some of the newer, I picked up a Golden Knights jersey, and they're awesome. I mean, you just walk around, you look at some of the stuff around here, and some guys have some amazing collections.
Actually, I need to ask, what are you bringing home from this expo?
Bringing home anything.
I know.
Correct?
I know. Hopefully my wife doesn't listen to
We shamed the hell out of you.
You did. Absolutely. I did grab a Golden Knights Dorofeev jersey.
Go blue.
So for the Golden Knights, and the price was right. So, and when you're in Vegas, get a Golden Knights jersey, right?
That and what happens in Vegas goes on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. So no,
but if he's bringing any of those home, who knows what else he'll bring?
Well, and the problem is anymore, if you like a guy, you that's what you got. If you're looking for a team or a player, obviously big Canucks guy, big Jets guy, Fanatics it is.
Yeah, or you can hope they get sent to the AHL.
Yeah. Abbotsford jerseys are a little less expensive, but no, this
beautiful jerseys too.
Absolutely. So no, there's been some, even just North Dakota jerseys. I mean, obviously, there's a couple guys here that have some really nice.
Just a few that you brought. So do you.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have there's some great stuff, but you always like to see everyone else's collections, what they have. I mean, I took a look at Paul's stuff from Michigan, and that is. I mean, it's phenomenal over there.
Yes.
I can tell you, I really wish that Paul and I were fighting today who was going to win the national championship, but unfortunately, both of us
are 2 hour debate just on that alone.
Yeah.
We would have been.
Yes, Paul is an old fashioned club.
Yeah.
I'm just enough off camera, but him and I got one just before recording this segment because hey, we have to. That's the rule with doing this. Is somebody
that or I
we'll take you downstairs and get one after you get done recording. I know you got to get to the game in a bit, but old fashions are important too.
I fully agree. But
I mean, it's funny. Bill and I went down. Hope your team does good. By the way, come upstairs if you want to see Wisconsin gamers, other stuff. And it's just we've been stopping people in the freaking
yes.
Even as we're recording this, we had it's incredible the walk-in traffic we've gotten here.
Yes, yeah.
And I think we have a couple main fans behind us.
Yeah, just walk. I mean, again, teams that not playing my first experience, not realizing how many non-playing teams fans come because of the atmosphere.
There's and I've talked to how many people this weekend, but there is a bunch this is their weekend, whatever city it is, doesn't matter if their team makes it. And, the other thing is that, some of the game worn jerseys you see at the games, I saw St. Lawrence, RIT, you see, Alaska. I saw a bunch of guys. It's awesome. Come to these things, support the team. And it's going to be great hockey. Obviously my team's not in it today, Paul's, but
But you're still wearing that jersey to go to the game today.
and it's going to be a great game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Both
There after the game.
Yes.
So we can edit it if it goes wrong. Who's winning today in final score?
Who's winning or who do I want to win?
I know who you want to win.
Okay.
Who's winning and what's the score?
I'm going to go with 4-2 Denver and an empty game. But I think it's going to end up 4-2. Like I said, I think Denver will end up with an empty netter in the last 2 minutes. And that's going to be it.
If we could have gotten an empty netter in the last 2 minutes.
You know what?
Yeah, yes. In the last minute.
Unfortunately, that's it was a little too little too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Wisconsin goalie was just on it. I mean, really, the Wisconsin just got you guys down.
They did.
Any teams all year.
Right.
I watched the Michigan game to see if they got to the Frozen Four because of you.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
Somebody watching teams that hasn't watched them all year couldn't get anything solidly.
They shut us down. I mean, the first period shots were something like 16-4.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. That's they came out flying. I think, they were just flat-footed. They come out of the locker room flat-footed for whatever reason. And Wisconsin just took it to them. I mean, it was flat out. They took it to them, got the 2 goals in the first period. We were on our heels and just played great defense.
North Dakota out of their game.
I did.
It was really strange.
It did. And being season ticket holder and travel well, I've seen 25 plus games of theirs this year. And, it's unfortunate when probably the worst game I've seen all year, in person. So,
and it's unfortunate when that's the game that it just hits.
Yeah.
It's tough with the long layoff between the regional finals, the Frozen Four.
Yeah.
There's all games. Yeah. Because we know North Dakota was a lot better than what they showed on Tuesday.
Well, and they're highly offensive, right? Like North Dakota, I believe, and we, obviously check this, but I think North Dakota was a top. I did not know this till post game, but Wisconsin was 62nd in the country in penalty kill. We had 5 power plays, including a 5-on-3, and didn't score.
Almost 2 minute 5-on-3.
And so he's top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
And you have a penalty kill that's 62nd out of 63 teams. Like it doesn't,
right.
Their
penalty kill decided to do it on the right day they needed to.
And I'll be honest, that's why I love hockey and in sports in general. But it doesn't matter. You could be especially college hockey. There's so much parity, right? Like you could, a Michigan versus St. Lawrence or North Dakota versus a Union, or you know what I mean?
Nothing.
100%. I'm just saying, you look for a top 10 this year down to no, absolutely nothing against them. It's just a contrast of top 10 teams. And so it's,
the great set the two of us are.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can drink your sorrows away together.
That's true.
Well, we actually don't need to drink our sorrows away. It's just like we've been having a great time.
Yeah, it has. And it's great talking to guys and even meeting. I mean, I, obviously have met on Facebook, just about everybody here, but in person, you know, I would say everybody, you know, I mean, everybody here I met in person.
Thank you.
I want to say that you and you know, whoever helped you set up did.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Oh, it was Bill?
Bill,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and your wife too. You got to give her.
Yeah, Monica. Yeah, oh, yeah. Monica's great.
Yeah.
No, it's helped.
You know what? And you mentioned Monica, and earlier you mentioned your wife a little bit.
Yeah.
Is she having a good time?
She's having a great time. My wife, she, you know what? She likes that I love the hobby of, you know, obviously jersey collecting and all that kind of stuff. She played soccer collegiately. And so there was kind of a connection that, you know, I mean, she transitioned from soccer, and then she met me, a big hockey guy, and she's like, oh, there's some similarities here. And that's kind of taken off. So yeah, huge ties to them as well. So obviously that's good that we, you know,
and something with,
oh yes.
right. And some with this expo, especially being in Vegas, but any of the expos, no matter where it is, and we're going on vacation in 3 weeks, so she needs to save it for that. Totally get it. I'm lucky to have a crap ton and can go back-to-back trips like this. But even if you're wanting to go and your spouse, we found, I mean, especially in Vegas,
100%.
But even other expos in San Jose and St. Louis, wherever it is, there's stuff that spouse can go do while we look at
but I think we got here about 8:30 and
11:30 now.
So yeah, so I put in, you know, a couple hours, 3 hours here. My wife was here for probably about half hour. Talked to Monica a little bit and hung out. But then she's like, I'm gonna go shopping. But you know,
if my wife was here, she'd visit for a bit up here, and then we'd go spend a little time in the casino playing some of her favorite machines.
Yes.
Well, good.
So what's the over under on her shopping? More or less than what you spent here?
Yeah, she's more into, so she likes shoes and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, $60, $70 shoes,
Yeah.
I may or may not have probably tripled that on this Dorothea jersey, Golden Knights jersey. So
just coming in, I just come to the airport. There's a coach shop and all that for purses and stuff. And I'm like, you're not even out of the airport. And you're spending a crap ton of money on a purse.
Yes.
So, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways to
Right.
balance this out. We
Right.
can make this work in your favor.
And yeah, no, I appreciate that. I also, though, on the other hand, probably should save some money so I can, you know,
Is that,
I mean, unfortunately, that doesn't disappear off the credit card.
No.
But you know what? I got one jersey, to add to the collection. My son will be happy. He's a Golden Knights guy. Mark Stone's there was a Mark Stone.
Oh.
But I said,
and unfortunately, side note with Mark Stone, and I won't give his name because he was unable to make the show, but the rip down the front spouse ended up being sick. They had to cancel and do miss him because I was looking forward to seeing him. But
Sure.
that jersey was supposed to be here. It was repaired. Will say that, and I've seen pictures.
cool to see.
And unfortunately, the reverse of that happened couple weeks ago as the Blues put up their away whites where Braden Shen fought him in that when he ripped the jersey.
Yes.
But when Shen was trading their jersey,
he did.
DBA. So as I again working well with the Blues, reach out confirming, and yep, all the guys that were traded who were on the road took their second set whites with.
Oh, okay.
At least ended up with him.
Yeah.
Fortunate, but still.
So are you guys both going to the game? Sorry, I don't remember. I've talked to so many guys. Are you guys into the game tonight?
We're I'm hanging out here.
You're gonna
There's
hang
not
out
whole
here?
people with their tables and stuff, so we're gonna stay open later. Even stop on back because
Sure.
Doc will still be talking probably.
Yeah.
But
And having
yeah.
more old fashioned.
Yes, yeah.
It looked initially, but again, I mean, in my case, while it was fun to watch and do stuff in here.
And I wish it was a night game or 5 o'clock
Right.
or
Yeah.
8 o'clock would have been preferred, but being at 2:30 and both our teams losing,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I guess I haven't worked, but I don't know if it was a Vegas thing this year or because I feel
There's
like
some other sporting event afterwards that
Yeah.
ESPN wanted to cover, whatever, so they pushed up the game. That's at least
sure.
my understanding.
at the start.
Right.
Because we were 7 o'clock in St.
Yeah.
Louis last year. And
Okay.
Chicago was 7 o'clock start too for the finals way back when.
ESPN. Okay. That makes sense. I that's what I was gonna say and watch the game, but it wasn't at, it'd have been 4:30 our time.
Yeah.
This one is. So okay. That makes sense. Makes sense.
Well, you bought the one jersey, but if there was any jersey in either one of these rooms you could just have, what
Yeah.
would it be?
Into this room, what would it be? And I know the answer to that one.
if
but,
I could add one,
yes.
of mine, bring some.
Oh, no, I mean what you're looking for. But
Oh,
yeah.
well, it'd be North
Yeah.
Dakota stuff, obviously. There's well, so that too. I mean, so obviously my first love North Dakota, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of
So
course. Yeah.
if there's an older older style or a high-end player of North Dakota, that's always my but yes. Like I said, I have been looking for that warm-up Sharks Oakland A's mashup that I have been looking for at least 10 years now, and I have the shout out to a number of guys.
Yeah.
So
We're
hopefully,
trying.
yeah, no, you guys, hopefully it shows up someday. There's a couple North Dakota jerseys, floating around here. I don't want to name names. They may not want to, say that they have, but there are some older, beautiful North Dakota jerseys that have been floating around that are awesome. So, but there's, like I said, it's phenomenal. The jerseys that are here. I mean, even teams that I don't. Oh my goodness, it's just awesome.
Oh yeah.
So
Even if it's a team you can't stand, but seeing one in person and looking at the wear or whatever else,
100%.
it's just cool.
yeah, and the other thing too that I like is not necessarily the jersey, but who wore it, right?
Yep.
You look at guys that are, NHLers now that there's college jerseys, or you look at guys that are in the Hall of Fame jerseys and how they've changed from that era, and they're so small, they're just about skin tight, to the ones now that are, quite roomy. I mean, this jersey here, there's no way you put pads and stuff under this. How did they fit into it?
Even not that long ago was somewhat smaller. I mean, now it's all about size and height and everything else. And I mean, yeah, looking at the original sweaters or some of the ones that are in
the Dream type stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, no way. And then,
Yeah.
and then some of the other, talking to some other collectors is some of the New Jersey Devils jerseys down there, even in the early 2000s, was saying how they were recycling them year to year. And how we'd photo match them to multiple stuff into the early 2000s. Teams were still doing that.
Well, and the funny thing is I've talked to a number of guys here just about, we'll call it the art of photo matching. And I have I would say the last 2 years, have some of my older UND stuff. So I had a Frozen 4 jersey that I matched 2 years prior. I had a jersey that I purchased that I originally thought it was like about a 97.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at some photos and going through some photos, I found 92 to 97. You know what I mean? And photo matching, this could be a whole podcast in itself, but photo matching is such an art. I think it takes time. It just, especially for the older stuff, because a lot of film photography.
Yeah.
And then it was thrown in a box and that's what you get.
Yeah.
You know, it's not today where you have this super high res that you can zoom in to see all that stuff. So it's just interesting.
And again, just on HO and even some of the minor league stuff,
Mhm.
the tagging, the tracking, all that. When a team sends you the jersey, here's the list of all the games they played in it, and in call it 99% of the cases, that's accurate. But teams, colleges probably especially when the budgets weren't big, why would we buy another one up, sew this patch on, and okay, you're gonna wear it, and keep going. And
well, and I don't know if you can see this, but so the guy that wore it before, it has the itch, and away they went.
yeah, but you can see all that still that nice stitching outline because that material held all that so
And you,
well.
yeah, and it was just kind of like, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Where today, you know, especially every year they have a new jersey. You know, I have some newer stuff where they wore them for 2 years, some alternates and stuff. But I mean, this was a close to 6-year jersey. You know,
Incredible.
and it's just like, okay, rip it off, put a new one on, and like I said, there's probably 50 years.
It's a great jersey.
Thanks. Yeah, but it's just like I said, what they did 20, 30, 40 years ago compared to how it's evolved now.
Well, it's both a good and a bad thing because teams until they fall apart and throw them away, or maybe we'll have it at a garage sale for $50.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you've got Penn State with Gavin McKenna, and who knows how many he's wearing money at insane amounts, and the pro teams have realized it. Everybody else, no, we're not going to recycle these. We're going to make as many as we can.
Yep.
Celebrini.
Oh yeah.
The number, but if the market bears that, fine.
Right. Yeah. And so funny enough, I've talked to trainers and some of the guys from back in it'd be about the late 80s to do when they got so beat up to the point where the players couldn't use them. They sewed them together and then they would give them to the club teams and the intramural teams.
Jeez.
And so once the intramural teams got done with them, they threw them away. I'm assuming it was at the end of its lifespan. But you think about all those jerseys back then that were given to intramurals, or you know what I mean? They were used for 2 or 3 years or however long the intramural, and then just thrown away.
Yeah.
And you're like,
the last season they were going to keep them. They may have told the intramural guys, we're just throwing them away. You guys.
North Dakota has a style, again, back in would have been the early 90s that just says North Dakota on it.
Yeah.
And it was so unpopular. They got through that set. They wore 3 or 4 years. There's not many that got out because it was so unpopular that they just threw away. There's a guy that told me that he brought it out to the garbage and he threw away probably 40 jerseys.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And now if he had those,
oh my
it'd
gosh,
make a big bang.
But on the other side, you know, the collectors that made it out, I mean, they're worth gold, right?
Yeah.
And they'll probably never move.
Oh no. Yeah.
Until they die.
Yeah. So like I said, stories like that are just crazy.
And I mean, even like there's one way up here.
Sure.
I mean, just at random spots because they wear for different reasons. And normally you don't see that in a typical jersey, but where that many years makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's what kind of, you know, I'll say lures you. I mean, that's the greatness of them, right?
Oh, yes.
You get them and you're just like, wow, this is awesome.
And we've gone through some of that too. We've kind of gone through ebbs and flows with the and with the Fanatics. And again, we even when Fanatics was announced, we kind of knocked it a little bit, but said, oh, you know what, let's wait and see. And now we've gone through 2 seasons of that, and the last white one, both arms were completely destroyed. I mean,
right.
Amounts of repairs. So you are seeing that to a point, but those are the classic ones that will always see.
Yeah. And you also have to look at, I mean, this is some heavy sweater fabric, right? So it's tougher to tear these. So you got to, you know, I mean, you're not just going to go out there and get checked or, you know, get a high sticker, you know, whatever, you have to work at it. Where some of the Fanatic stuff now, you know, it's just, and you know, Reebok and just the jerseys in general now are lighter material. And so they're going to rip easier. They're going to, you know, tear easier. But
even seeing like the new with the fuzzer just going right through some of them.
Yeah.
And it's not a material problem. I think just the guys you're seeing it in are the guys that are just into the boards.
You know, I collect a lot of Besser, a lot of Brock Besser. So, you know, I have, let's call it 15 Besser jerseys when he's on Vancouver, right? And if you look at his wear compared to, you know, more of a, I mean, he's more of a natural goal scorer. He's not, you know, he's not in the scrum a whole lot. You get a guy that, you know, is grinder guy. The wear is so much different as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very positional.
Yeah. And if you look at, you know, again, some of the scores that, you know, don't necessarily, you know, muck it up a lot, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
These guys, but it's actually kind of cool when you get those jerseys and they do have some repairs because you're like, wow, that's a bonus, right?
Yes, it is.
So I do like that. And speaking of that, the Dorothea that I got does have
very nice. I walked in the room. One of the other guys had bought one of the $500 wrap bag ones, and beginning of our time, he's like, "Here, you open it." So I'm like, I said, "My luck's not good." A couple good ones on the arms, and he was stoked with it.
That's cool. Yeah. No, that's great.
But I'm glad you were able to make it out. I think when we talked to you, when we interviewed you initially, you were hoping that UND would make it here, and you had plans.
But it was awesome that they made it, and you know, again, you know, it's a great vacation. It's great to get out, see you guys in person, hang out,
Get
Look at some
away from
great
the snow.
jerseys. Get away from the snow. All those cool things. You know, I mean, again, we've said it a couple times. Obviously, we wish the game scores were different. It was always fun. And yeah, it was a pleasure.
Just all the other
you know,
memories being made coming here. And
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
because you'll go back and talk to all your collector friends in your area too, going, dude, I mean,
Yeah. They're trying to get an expo, a North Dakota Expo. It's just, you know, North Dakota has a lot of things against it. The weather is not ideal. So you basically have to do it in October, November.
or July.
Or yeah. Well,
Nice summer one.
But we also wanted to, because obviously the Ralph Engelstad Arena, if you guys are familiar, is phenomenal. Second to none. I think.
Well, I could imagine.
Oh my goodness, 12,000 seat arena, which
So the entire state.
come on, you're killing me.
But it is North Dakota.
Well, you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, Justin would agree with me too.
Yeah. But it's yeah. So I maybe someday we'll get something going up there. I don't know. I wish I could say. It's just it's tough.
But as we've talked that we're into with this is, I mean, I think Martin was talking about the first one he came to out in San Jose. Was at a pizza place?
Oh yes,
Yeah, and it was what, like 5 or 6 of you?
Yeah.
Then you're doing with the game.
Yeah.
But if it's 10 or 15 people,
Yeah.
you're still showing off the stuff. It doesn't have to be something like this,
Yeah.
or the Nova or anything else. It's
Right.
just hobbyists in person.
Yes. And like I said, hopefully it pans out. You know, I mentioned last time I have a 11-year-old that is in every hockey game possible. You know, I mean, playing 50 games a year and all that. I'm either, you know, I mean, we're on the road with him and playing his hockey for 8 months a year as well. So, you know, someday it'll happen. You know, we're gonna make it happen. It just it'll have to be the right time, right?
And you know what? And it will.
Yeah.
But side things that happen, or I can't believe this showed up here, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, we'll all go back to our home areas and be talking to local who aren't interested big, but love college hockey, so sending them pictures of stuff,
Right.
and all that. But it's just spreading that love and that knowledge out around.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. No, it's awesome. And
Glad you were able to make it out and talk your wife into coming out and getting pool time and shopping and all those things. But
Yeah.
but again, that's part of it, is having that support. My wife was very supportive. Have a great time.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and even talking to some of the guys around here that do expos, you know, out east and, you know, out west, and like, if, you know, my wife would be like, go have fun. So, you know, if again, some more, and
St. Louis is nice in October.
yeah, maybe we can schedule, you know, what we need to do is schedule my kids' games there.
Yeah.
I'm sure the parents would love going.
Oh God.
That's for
Yeah.
youth hockey
Yeah.
and that
Yeah. If we go,
Santine rink where the Blues practice, and that setup is gorgeous. And there's a bar in it, by the way.
yeah,
I mean,
that's a bonus, right?
Yes, it is.
so especially after doing our show remotely and just be able to hang out and
Absolutely.
and just tell stories. Like, just the jersey you're wearing. I mean, God, we talked on that for half an hour, and then you know you and I were talking kind of all of those things. But it's just always a conversation. I mean, looking behind it, Melly and her wife and other collectors are sitting around the table telling stuff, and
tons of people in here too.
The Trump
too is so I'm gonna put a little shout out here, but you know, getting you know, talking to Paul here and just getting Jersey Page going too.
Yes.
Getting a lot of these guys. I've talked to a number of collectors and just say, hey, check out Jersey Page, and you know,
listen, pushing that,
Yeah.
but a lot going on.
yeah.
There it is. I have more time starting Monday.
Yes. But it is cool, you know, talking to somebody and they say, what's that? They look it up, you know, and there's you can be sitting on your couch, hanging out at home, at work, you know, pretending to work if you want, scrolling through these thousands of jerseys online that are, you know, it's kind of like a what would you say, a remote expo of sorts. You know, you could sit
Central repository.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes.
So
No,
you know,
it's great seeing a lot of the jerseys that show up on there.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
The details.
The other thing, and again, thank you, Paul, for all your hard work. Because
absolutely.
we've talked about it before. I'm in IT, but hate anything having to do with websites, managing any. It's what I was never good at it. Hated it, all of it, for him, the whole bit. And it's meant a lot to have the Dirty Laundry branding in there with some of that, and just I mean, how we've grown this, and me having the opportunity again. Some people, how come?
Right.
I wish we made money to be able to do more of these, and I'm going to try and I've talked to the Expo, because they asked me if I could come out. I'm like, I'm going to try and build that into my schedules. I want to get to. I want to get to Miami. I want to get to Nova. So it may take 5 or 10 years to get through all of them, but I'm going to cycle around. But it means a lot that we've had the support. Like, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm like, all we're having is a conversation.
Absolutely.
It's being recorded.
Yeah.
Won't be used in court. But it's
That guy, you know,
it's just like it's standing around.
Yeah,
Now
a lot of the same
we're still-
conversation. We're having here. I've had with 20 other guys out there that are
we're having drinks just like we would be otherwise. But now,
and for both you guys, just the sentiment around is obviously the podcast jersey page and what you guys do for the hobby is awesome.
Thank you.
It's all this kind of stuff you guys put in, and just bringing the hobby, to other people. You know what I mean? Bringing it out there, showing guys like, hey, look at these jerseys. Bringing guys on your show so they can show off jerseys, talk jerseys, those kinds of. They don't get enough credit, and just obviously thank you for what you guys have done. So
and we appreciate it. I mean, we again do it for the love of this, and I'm lucky with the technology, some past radio experience, and a nice kiss from Mitch.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
was that Mitch?
That's like there's a ghost went by there.
I think I don't know. I don't know about
But it's cool to be able to travel with this stuff and
yeah.
I mean, taking. I didn't even care. Say I didn't care about.
Yeah.
My carry-on was all the podcasting equipment. And it weighs
sure
about 18 pounds. So on a backpack, after a while, that's getting heavy.
Yeah.
But enough to be able to go anywhere and do it is made this so fun. My wish, and I need to actually talk to both the groups at some expo somewhere. I don't know where it is. I actually want all three of the podcasts to get podcast all together in the same expo. I think because the girls with their hockey fashion and that kind of stuff, and talking to collectors, a happy family, and how My Grade does theirs, and Scott Linda hosts that. Like I said, I've still had people reach out. Oh, I'm like, no, they're not competitors. It's all, and even if it takes, it's fun and it's all encompassing, and we just get to share the love of the hobby in different ways.
We're all trying to do the same thing, and that is either acquire great jerseys, check out other people's great jerseys. You know what I mean? It's all just.
I mean, I'm going to try, and if anybody else has out there, even My Grade included, but I know they would probably try for it as well. I would love to have Ovi on as a guest to put together whenever he's done, be it this season, next season, or 10 from now, like Yager finally retired.
Yeah.
But I'd love to have, I mean, I know that's superstar power, but that's one of a Grail guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and
well, and you don't even necessarily, and it's, in my opinion, right? But you don't need to, you're in the St. Louis area. Reach out, get Ovi's. He's quite a ways up there.
Yeah, he's up the mountain a tad bit.
So maybe you start with
but he's the most well-known of the ones that collect their own stuff.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And it's on my list. See if he's still with the team in the summer. Again, no knowledge of that, but there's some talk of trade. Is Robert Thomas is a big video gamer, streams on Twitch or wherever, in the background door frame. And it's part of the CBA stuff probably.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if, you're showing those off that at least is enough of either you want cool background stuff or you're interested.
Get him on the show. Yeah. Obviously if you can.
Yeah.
And say, hey, what are those? What do you got here? Start that conversation. And the funny thing about talking to Jersey guys or collector, I mean, it's never a 15-minute conversation. You start talking, 2 hours flew by.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, even with interviewing Dryden McKay earlier this week with past Toby Baker winner. And while he doesn't have a lot of stuff, he has jerseys some of the teams gave him, all with a pair of his Kings jerseys.
Nice.
One of the things, he didn't realize the Kings even made jerseys for him. And then he talked about, I've got some of the team nameplates. And I'm like, hey, I got one of yours shipped. Collect big. He has some of his stuff, and different guys do keep certain things. So it's cool to hear those stories from the pros.
Absolutely.
Well, with that, we'll wrap this up so you can maybe buy 2 or 3 more jerseys.
Well, we have some lunch here before we.
Yes, you got to get to the game I guess now your second time being in here. What did you think about the Las Vegas arena from the other day?
Oh yeah, so we've 4 or 5 full nights games.
Okay, so you've been there previous.
Yes, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's a great ring. It's in a great location.
Of course, it's downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I really like, which very rare in the hockey arena world, is between periods, or I guess whenever, you can go outside.
Yes, that's nice.
So you can walk outside, you can have a beer on the patio. Which,
that is a rarity.
That's something unique that I know up to here. So that's something that we take advantage of. Between periods, go out there and hang out outside for a little while, because it's usually rather nice outside, right? So we got great seats up in the loge level. Yeah. So
you lucked out on those.
That's
nice.
I absolutely did. There's no doubt. Great timing thing, and lucked out. So gonna watch the game in luxury, I guess.
Hey, there you go. I'll make Jets games, so that'll be.
And they do a great. Have you been to a Knights game?
Oh yes,
yeah.
Yes,
they're pregame where they do the sword fighting and stuff, and they're. Oh,
I'm excited to see that because I enjoy that. They had, and not to keep you even longer, but so many teams got those the projectors and stuff to do that stuff on the ice, and they used them like a handful of times and then stopped. Like I know the Blues bought it again. It's like, come on.
So
you have one hell of a platform to put that on.
I can tell you this when you go on Monday, get your drinks, whatever. But after warm up, they're on the jumbotron, all on the scoreboard, all that kind of stuff, and then they do the on ice stuff, and it's 10 minutes of stuff, isn't it? I mean, it's a lot. So and they do an excellent job, like NHL teams, which all of them do great pregame stuff, but I would say the Golden Knights probably take the cake on that. They do a great job.
You got to do it just because of where you are.
Absolutely. So,
well,
thanks again, guys.
And you and your wife have safe travels home also.
Yes, you as well.
I know as you go there, you'll just watch the temperature drop, unfortunately.
Hey, it's coming. Spring's coming, right?
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, well.
Thank you for hanging out and coming out here and just getting to meet everybody. It's so much fun. We'll definitely get you on the podcast in the future too. And
sounds good. Looking forward to it.
So enjoy it. If you have to leave with us, we can ship them to you later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bought that. Way after Vegas.
They may or may not show up, right?
Right. I like those, but I would not. But I can, for a small fee, can time it so you don't get in trouble.
Fair enough.
I've done that for others.
That's good.
So again, enjoy the game this afternoon and come visit us after you get done. Honest, I think one of the coolest people. I mean, all the collectors, I love talking to them, but it's neat when we can get into hockey people that are doing things a lot of us want to do. So I'll let you introduce him, Bill.
I want to introduce everybody to Mr. Bruce Cusick. You have heard his sultry voice.
Sultry.
It's like listening to silk.
and it's not just be careful for flying pucks, things like that. It is all the cool.
And we have more latitude really than anybody else because we're a show and we're on the strip. So I get away with a lot of fun stuff.
I'll bet. I mean, I have not been to a game yet. I am coming Monday night to the first. My joke with everyone. So things have changed a tad bit. Hockey teams and everything else, but the videos and stuff. I mean, just the on ice show and the production stuff you guys do. It's Vegas. You've got to do that. So before we get into some of those things, tell us about.
If you add up all the years in 6 different leagues, I think this is my 41st year of PA announcing.
Wow. So I was 6 when you started.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. That's
darn kid.
How did you get started in this?
In a place that I worked at, and then I was asked to do. You meet everybody in the business.
Sure.
And so they asked me if I could do announcements for U of M football.
Okay.
At the Dome, and then I got offered the job for pro soccer, and then I was invited to audition for the Minnesota Vikings. And I won that audition. So I was there, I think, 12 or 13 years doing the Vikings. Let's see. And then I auditioned out here in 2017 and I got the job. So, and it worked out great. I still live in Minnesota, bought a condo here in 2007 for retirement. And so I'm retired now, but I got the coolest job in the world being retired.
Oh, yeah. Most people, I'm just going to go to the top NHL players in the world.
Yeah. I mean, look at our first year. I was reminded by people, I thought to myself, I'll be driving the car home, in 2000, our first year, and oh, great, we had 33 wins. What a great experience. No, I was reminded, you're still announcing hockey, Bruce, and it's June. I'm like, right.
This isn't supposed to be.
Because Bill said you did another role for a little bit in Minnesota.
Oh, and that's what's great about seeing the Wrangler jerseys here. So about 30 pounds ago, or maybe the Minnesota Moose, during the lockout, then the IH, a friend of mine who was in marketing at the place that I worked, he went to the Minnesota Moose. He said, dude, it'd be perfect for you. The mascot. I'm like, let's do it.
As you, and no
so
mascot.
Minnesota Moose mascot.
That's awesome. But no kind of
some entertainment.
Now, had you done anything in media with your voice prior to this stuff, or just somebody always?
Yeah, I would do the occasional commercials. And then when I was working for the Vikings, I did probably a good third of their radio commercials for the Vikings radio broadcast. And I do commercials here for.
I was just kind of fell into it, terrestrial radio for about 6 years, did a video game radio show on the actual radio for a bit, then took over doing political talk radio on a Saturday morning. It's always fun, but there was no money in it.
Right.
So I, like Bill, did in IT instead, but it's interesting how you fall into those things, or people. In my current job at a university, I would go to people, funny story, but I never recorded commercials, those things, just because of the timing of it. But it was funny how many people just hear your voice in things and, oh my God, you're this. So.
Oh, it's been an unbelievable experience. And then I do different football game at the ballpark between the Knights and the Raiders, and the Power of Love Gala, which is here. That's an unbelievable production. It's almost like the Academy Awards in Vegas.
And especially as you're saying you're retired in this stuff. Did you expect to be doing this kind of thing so much later in your call it in your career?
Yeah, it wasn't the most fun I've had.
Oh, and say why
And
stop something?
all
That's
the people that I've met along this, journey since 2017 has been unbelievable.
And
you know what? I get to wear shorts in December.
not happening. But
You technically can.
well, right.
Yeah.
I could do a lot of things and then regret it later. So what's kind of some of the behind the doors thing. What's a typical day for you? Game day for you?
Kind of take it easy. Maybe review the script for the day, and I'll wait for the roster. The roster usually comes, the game day roster, and then I'll double check that from maybe the day before when I prepare the roster to what's the game day roster now, and sometimes it'll change, but most of the time it doesn't. And then I'll head in. We have a production meeting about 2.5 hours before puck drop, and so I'll head in. And then they have a dining room set up where you have pregame meal, and then production meeting. Then after the production meeting, then if I'm pretty caught up on the roster and pronunciations and everything, then I'll go run around and say hi to people that I've gotten to know along the way.
And I guess I'm assuming it happened the same as I follow the Blues announcer. He's big on social media and stuff. And one of the interviews pre and post COVID, were you, when you started with the Knights, were you down on the ice between
between the penalty boxes?
Yes.
Yep. And so the league asked me if I'd be interested in doing all of the games, but everything would be quarantined. I said sure. And then Vegas and Edmonton.
Okay.
But COVID forced all the PA guys up. So some are in the press box, and I'm right at the top of the lower bowl. It's beautiful. I have like my own table and part of a walkway, so people can come and say hi to me, and so it's great where I sit. They asked me if there's a chance of going back down, and I said no, I'm good right here.
I know while you're in between the penalty boxes, you have a very narrow view.
Yep. Like people always, you have the best seats in the house. People on glass. I go, no, I don't. When plays off to my left, I look at the linesman's butt. Like plays over here, I look at the linesman's butt.
Not a whole lot. You're not getting to do from up there.
Yeah, and then if I want to see the scoreboard, I have to go see the chiropractor after every game.
Right. And that's funny too, because you talk about the pronunciation to like study extra hard on. And I know it varies season to season.
Yeah, it does. Some of the Russian ones, probably some Finland, but yeah, it's amazing. And then everybody will tell you, preseason is like,
oh god, you'll say it for the one game and never say it again.
And the roster seems like is never 100% because the visiting team decided, let's give them a shot. So I'm actually, the producer and I are taking inventory and checking off on the roster who's, I don't know. Then we got to start calling around and find out, it gets to be.
So even in game, you're a lot of communicating with the producer and others if things change, or you got to,
of the game, the whistles, media timeouts, you have to try to hit all those. Sure. You have to try to hit all your sponsorship things. And, but then if there's penalties and, stuff like that, it can get pretty dicey for the producer because he's got to start jumping around and see what he can fit in that 2 minutes, Because
you've got all the spots. Where's this going to go?
Yep. And it's just a group of most talented people. The Knights are so lucky to have the talent that they do.
Well, when you're a big part of that in what you do, 300,000 person talk radio station stuff, but like when you're doing interviews and stuff and firing off the commercial and having to juggle that on a tiny scale, I can't imagine what all you're doing. But you've been in this a long time. You really,
like with some of the things that I do, the way I introduce the visiting teams, like that our former president of the team, that was his favorite thing of the entire pregame was when I would say tonight we face the visiting New York Rangers over here.
But he said early on that kind of freedom to not be just here's the Rangers and
and I've turned the taco. If we score 2 goals in a period, everybody gets tacos. So I've turned that into a Ron Burgundy bit.
Nah, and I know some other teams do that. I wish more teams would give their guys some of that freedom because it is a hockey game. You want it to be quote unquote professional, but if people like you are into it more,
and they do that, and the team realizes that, way back, I used to announce for indoor lacrosse when the Minnesota Swarm, and so the fun we would have there, and it came down to if we lost and fans are leaving with a smile, then we've won. Is how we looked at it in game day ops.
And so that's what I try to do with the Vegas Nighthawks. I announce for them too, the Indoor Football League. And we do the same thing. I just have a lot of fun and hope everybody else has a lot of fun with me.
Well, but you're not doing it in a way that you go, God, that's tacky and crappy. And no, it's fun because transplants like nobody's business. St. Louis Blues guy, you get multiple planes coming in from St. Louis just for the Blue games. They travel here because it's cheap to come. It's fun, all this stuff. But people are going to be a visiting team because of what you're doing.
Right.
And it's awesome to hear and hear your perspective as somebody that's done this a long time and being BS, because I've been to locally, our minor league hockey team has gotten better with that. But our minor league baseball team is okay. We have the just up the road from me that used to work with their in-game announcer, but he's a Minnesota guy also. Used to be big North Stars fan the whole bit. So he gets it. And they brings out Bison and does all the here's a God, what the hell's the term they use up there? Stampede. But he rolls that word way out and the place goes nuts. Even the visiting fans love that because they're gonna remember that going forward. It was so awesome at that game because they did this stuff. So I'm super excited to be there Monday and I will make sure that I'll have Bill give me a tour to get over there.
It's on the daily tour every time I go to a game. Look for jerseys, say hi to us, then go to the rest.
We know that you couldn't do what we do in any other city. We get that. We know you've got your traditional six or hockey, give us hockey. And we get that. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Sure.
We had the chance to start something here, and that's what we did, and the fans embraced it. They continue to embrace it, and so then we continue to have fun.
And I'm glad from you, and that's what makes it special is teams and ownership and that buy in, that get it, and can think outside the box. And just like you, have fun with the opposing team, whatever, while you're announcing them or other things, because even the opposing fans will get into it, even if you're making fun of them. It's part of that experience. The more fun you have, leave the arena, just makes it so much more cool.
Yep. And we always watch for reactions of visiting fans, and they laugh. They just love it. I'll go, where tonight we take on the visiting Minnesota Wild. Oh yeah, you bet. I said to an athletic writer, I said, does this make me a hypocrite? Yeah.
You're in Vegas now, so what?
And I travel to a lot of arenas, and since we've been doing what we've been doing here in Vegas, trying to sort of Vegas up
they
their
have
production.
their idea conference, and they have different things throughout the year, and so a lot of teams will take from one another, and so you'll see stuff that we did at another arena.
You go to Dallas, and they try to do Vegas Dallas stuff. Since we've hit the league, you've seen a lot of the other teams evolve and bring their entertainment up.
The league gives out an award for best game day experience, and I think the first 4 years we won 3 of them. And then
now it's the Las Vegas Golden Knights,
and it's kind of like you're the only ones that we got our eyes on because it's always between you and us. And so a couple years ago, the Vikings won best in all of sports.
Oh wow!
And then we won best of all of sports. So
but that's kind of the leagues and all this interact because you don't want teams living in a bubble, and the NHL, the NFL, or whoever understanding that helps. I mean, part of what's changed of videos I see scrolling through that show the Blues, the Vegas, whoever doing the different stuff on the Jumbotron where they're this person looks like this and show them in a crowd. But it's not just Blues fans or Knights fans watching that. It's people all over because it's funny and it's creative and some of you want to see.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that we've got Wayne Newton up there cranking our rally siren. And it's several times we've had Blue Man Group running around the arena messing with fans and in the showbiz capital of the world.
Is Bruno Mars coming Monday night to do stuff?
He's actually going to sit next to me.
It was Bruno Barnes Day yesterday. You got on Monday night. So, but you've got a few people to be able to pull from in this town of big names and big entertainers. And been to Vegas, you know who these people are.
Right.
And it's this. Said yes. I landed 3:30 yesterday afternoon. As soon as I touched down and walked off that gate and seeing the gaming machines and stuff right there, but you're in Vegas and I told Bill, made me laugh. I come around the corner of those machines and there's the Golden Knights restaurant right there. Yeah. Diehard St. Louis fan, but I love what the Knights have done. I love the logo, the setup. I do own a few Knights jerseys thanks to Bill's help and stuff.
I got you.
But it's just what it is. And at the end, end of the day, I'm a hockey fan. I can watch any games, but just what you guys do here is so cool, and I'm really excited to see it in person on Monday.
We built something really special.
But it's fans like this that make it.
Yeah, you shouldn't sell yourself short.
Like we're nothing if the fans don't embrace what we're trying to do.
But from the second it was announced, and that's one thing. I see how fast season tickets either sell out or go, and you see at the press conference, and there's 30,000 people for this announcement or whatever it is, and you've got a good chance. And of course the very dark day with the shooting here and at the concert, how the Knights really brought the city together.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy to think one of the color guys here for a couple of years, Mike McKenna.
Mhm.
And he talks about, because he was here in that time too, he talks about just what that atmosphere was, and even adding the 360 camera and all of that stuff.
And I've got a producer upstairs, and she's bawling because it's such an emotional night.
Oh,
She's telling me, Bruce, don't look up. Bruce, don't look up, because I'll start breaking up. Night in sports that I've ever
Anybody
had.
that was able to hold it together when Derek England was giving that speech,
but
I don't get it.
nobody would have faulted you if you were trying to announce whatever through crying. It was amazing to see how this town was brought together, how you guys handled it, and I couldn't imagine having to do it from your side and hold it together.
Yeah. They had everything ready for the big brand new team opening night, and that was obviously scrapped. And so they only had a few days to put this other.
Yeah, completely flipped the script. Shows how
We were winning that game that night. There was no that we were going to win that game.
But it also shows the dedication you and the entire team. I mean, team on the ice and everybody behind, and the entire town came together for
Yep.
that. I mean, see this and see how teams responded. It'll be September 11th. The last time I think you could look at something in season that just flipped the script and how teams had to just embrace something out of an absolutely terrible situation.
Right.
But it's amazing to hear that and kind of hear what you guys had to do and how that worked. Craziest story since you've been with the Knights? If ones you can say, if you can't, I understand it.
Game 5. It was, because that was being in this business for so many years. That was the first championship that I got to be a part of. And it was something special. And to win it so comfortably, wasn't this like,
Wet until the end.
There's like, no, what?
Just like you said with our opening night, that we were winning that game.
We were winning
it
that
doesn't
game.
matter who we were
the
playing,
electricity,
we were winning
the
that game.
fans. I mean, you just felt it that, we're going to get the cup tonight. And so the most amazing thing was, ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup, and the place goes nuts, and I was like, wow, goosebumps.
Because you got to announce that too.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there was a little bit of goosebumps there.
After the horn went off, and I stood up, and Vice President and I looked at each other and then just hugged, and then we both bawled.
Like, yeah, anybody's going to
just cried like babies,
his career.
Yeah, a championship. Yeah. Last year, Nighthawks football won their championship too. So on Sunday, tomorrow, we're going to drop the banner for the championship.
Very nice.
At our home opener. So we're looking forward to that.
But I mean,
it's still like probably a month later, I was still trying to process everything. I'm in a parade on the strip, and they have cameras that can count crowds. There's like 300,000 people on the strip, and I'm wait, what? And then we come around, and then I get to bring the team up on stage. It's being broadcast live across North America. It was something special. And then to top it off, I get a Stanley Cup ring. Oh my God. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And why aren't you wearing it today?
Because don't want to take it out of the box.
You know what? I don't blame you, but I mean, just again, it's got to feel weird. I mean, you are and I've talked to say guys with the Blues and others who have worked in different areas where they got the Stanley Cup ring, and like, yeah, it was amazing. But how tight you are in that
NHL awards shows, TV announcer for that, and then I got to do the draft at the Sphere. Got to do the All-Star game, T-Mobile, and I remember, when the Blues won and John Hamm was their guy up on stage. I got to introduce John Hamm. It was pretty cool to be part of that.
Could you add more to your resume? I mean, is there something you still want to do? I mean, what you're doing is amazing, and not like I expect you at the end of the season. You know what? I've just done. But is there something you even just some kind of wish of a thing you could do yet?
I got 2 championships, and so now it's I guess I just want to have fun, enjoy the fans, and enjoy like Bill, the people I've gotten to be friends with out here, and I can't ask for much more than that. We go on a hockey road trip.
It looked like, I mean, honestly, that really did look like a fun road trip. God, my God, you guys were everywhere.
Oh yeah,
We walked through the White House. We got a tour of the Capitol.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're gonna go see a Capitol.
This guy, getting us.
Sure, could have
Past
brought him to
this-
St. Louis so he could watch me play.
Yeah.
I
And
tried.
And it was fun. We got to also tour both chamber, the Senate, and the House. So we got to come. The gold medal team went down. In
Oh, nice.
those same
to go through
stairs.
that same door that all the hockey players from the Olympics went through.
That is fantastic. Now, again, you're pretty well known in Vegas now, especially because you've been doing this a while. Do you get stopped in random places by fans?
Sometimes I Gordy Brown, who has a show at the Golden Nugget, big hockey fan. And I was just texting with him, on Instagram, and he goes, "Oh, you got to come to my show." Okay. So next thing, I'm at we're backstage in his dressing room before the show, just hanging, BS.
Oh, shit. Surprise.
And so I'm on the curtains are drawn, the mic's right there. The curtain opens, John Wick starts playing. Vegas, are you ready? Because it's Gordy Brown time. How many locals do you get, and he goes, "Oh, I get some at every show." And I said, "So that's you still want to do?" "Oh, Bruce, I don't care. I want to do it." Whether all these out of town fans don't get it, didn't matter to him.
But that's a cool piece. I mean, did you think you'd be introducing other Vegas shows because you become so well known?
No.
But that seems to be in entertainment and stuff like that. That just seems to be a lot of it is just right place, right time, and unexpected. That famous person or that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I after I introduced him, and I walked off stage, I'm like, "What did I just do?"
Well, that's one of the fun parts about being friends with this guy is you see on Facebook every so often, just the pictures pop up of, "Oh, look, Bruce and Randy Kutug," Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, another day.
Yeah, and I got to know him through, one of my good friends here. And and then I've been to Carrot Top twice. Huge Golden Knights fan.
I would
So the
think
first
so.
time-
He's been around Vegas a bit.
And I gave him a Stanley Cup puck, and it's like, that's my most prized possession. And there's 20 years of stuff. And the Stanley Cup pucks were his most prized possessions at this dressing room.
That's got. I mean, I got to make how much it truly means to him, and not just a thing to go on
Right.
the wall.
Yeah. It's. I mean, and then BSing with Randy Couture is like, "All right, tell me about when you're doing Expendables 3, what happened?" And he kind of go through the scenes and how it came together, and it was just fun.
And it's funny. I mean, just this environment again. Talking to my buddy Mike, sharing stories from here, as he's at a Knights event somewhere outside, and a woman runs up to him and goes, "Oh my God, you're my 16+ year NHL and minor league career. I mean, been around a lot. And, hey, thanks so much." And a whole bit. She's like, "Oh wait, I got to get my husband, bring him over." Yeah, it's Wayne Newton. It's Wayne Newton's wife. Your breakdowns, especially with you being a goalie, the whole bit. And
How cool
Wayne's
is that?
like, "Hey, if you ever need anything, here's my phone number."
Vegas is a special place.
Absolutely. And
Well, that was one of the things in that. It's like, all right, you got a hockey team. Vegas, the bar is a little bit lifted. When the team came here, okay, yeah, you got a hockey team, but we need that entertainment. You've got to live up to Vegas.
Right.
And the team absolutely nailed it.
And that reminds me, when we went to see Wayne Newton, and it was more about his, and so they'll ask people out in line waiting to get in, any special occasion, birthday, anniversary, whatever, and person that I was with said, "Well, we know Wayne Newton's a big hockey fan, and he's the PA announcer." "Oh, okay." So now during the show, then there's a time that he'll say, "Happy 25th anniversary," in the middle of the show to people,
make you feel good, that kind of stuff.
So then it's like, "Okay, where's Bruce Cusick?" I'm like, "Here, I guess," And so now we're talking, we're chatting.
Like there's nobody else in the whole place.
About what I do during the game and in these games. I could never do that. How do you get the pronunciation?
You're asking me this.
Simmer down, crowd. This is for us.
Yeah. How do you pronounce some of those names? That show was I was just at a Wayne Newton show, and he was chatting with me during the show.
It was the Bruce Cusick show.
That was
Wayne showed up.
It was nuts. It was nuts.
Bruce just got introduced by Wayne.
Yeah. And it's funny from my kind of things. This is again, we're a bunch of hockey collectors that have done this for 20, 30 years and above. And Paul Rank, who does a show with me, and one of our other guys who wasn't able to make it, Wade from St. Louis, we decided, you know what? The show makes no money, none of that. It's just because we love what we do. And it's getting the opportunity to talk to people like you that I enjoy the hell out of this. I mean, every collect what drives them, but it's the opportunities, one, to come to Vegas and talk to people like you that do things that we all wish we could do or had the opportunity to do. I've called a couple of charity games, and I saw a game worth a damn because you got to be so rapid and know. And I knew the roster well. It's a cops military game that local groups of us put on. So I knew, but couldn't call it worth a damn.
Yeah.
Because it just takes so much talent. I mean, same way with with your scripting and all that thing, but just having to juggle all of those different things and just be on it.
You walk through these two rooms here, and I'm thinking to myself, that's a challenge. But he was on the news here with his jerseys.
I mean, not for being arrested or something?
No. He got the ankle bracelet off. Yeah,
Yeah,
the ankle bracelet came off, but it wasn't for that. Insane. It's like the whole second bedroom. It's
a big closet.
I heard the add-on for the building is starting next week. It's going to be a shrine.
I mean, it could be a store. Put it that way.
Bill does it here at somebody, I can't remember who it was. One of the collectors just shared the other day, was interviewed by I think Toronto News. It kind of seems to happen all over, all that are blown away because they think the teams, a lot of people don't realize that the private people buy all this stuff and collect it. And I mean, one of the guys that we've had on a previous podcast used to have the largest jerseys. He owned Wayne Gretzky's Mercedes at one point. But it was funny to ask him, why'd you get rid of it? He said there was no more to collect.
Yeah.
I collected it all or everything I could get. And it's like, we all may get to that
wonder,
point.
like, not Wayne Gretzky directly, but someone in his group would want to get some of that stuff back.
And his dad did have a lot of it before he had passed away, and then a lot of it went to Wayne. But there was, and I know he does have some, and I've heard different stories. And not to go on too much of a tangent, but one of the coolest stories we had with him is, as Sean's the guy's name, who had record-breaking stick. Kevin Smith's manager reached out, had found out that Sean had it, reached out to him and said, "Hey, Kevin Smith's getting ready to release a movie on his own, not going through any of the big movie houses. Guys, Wayne Gretzky, and this particular game time frame mattered to him. He wants to buy the stick." And Sean's like, "Sorry, not going to sell it the whole bit." But they talked, and the guy joked, "Well, why don't we just fly you out with the stick and do that?" And to the Cannes Movie Festival, brought the stick and walks in the room. Kevin Smith's there waiting, and the whole room is waiting for Sean. And it came up to him, "Hey, thanks so much for bringing the stick." It went from being about Smith on stage with it and tells this whole Gretzky story, holding the stick the whole bit, and Sean's in the room and then took the stick back with him. I mean, just weird.
Which now it's a fortune.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's the filming that went on of him telling the stick.
Yeah, and the video's on YouTube. I actually went and watched it after the
My
fact.
daughter, just want to say hi to my daughter real quick.
Hi. Welcome to Crazy.
Thank you.
Yes,
Well, she's your daughter, so she probably gets a lot of it, right?
she's got a little bit of her own collection started. She's got a few gamers and stuff.
Yeah, but you did a really cool thing.
A lot of people are leaving.
Okay.
So I'm going
The gloves.
It is part of this. It is all about family. I mean, how many people I've talked to that they're getting their kids into it and that. Luckily or unluckily, my kids didn't get into it or hockey, so I have a better budget. So as you walk through these rooms and wrap this up, because again, you've shared so much amazing stuff, and we appreciate it. And thank you for getting them here. What's the most amazing piece you've seen in these rooms?
Seats. Like, tell us the story, Bill.
So we've got a friend who got a few extra bucks, and at one of the Golden Knights galas, she won the auction. She won an entire year's worth of specialty jerseys autographed by the entire team. If anybody's interested, they're for sale. We'll talk, but I've got them displayed over there, and a few people come by taking a look, but the entire the 24-25 team autographed each of those specialty jerseys.
That's crazy though. Okay, so some answer. I love that. Anything outside of Golden Knights and just like, holy crap, I can't believe it's here.
Not really, because it's like, you look everywhere. Oh yeah, I've said that name many times. I've said that name many times. I've said that. Like it's the jerseys like that. Oh, then those two jerseys.
I would think not.
I don't think so.
All right. With that, again, thank you for all your time here. I know you're going to do some announcements, even here in a minute, record a few things for us for the podcast for the future. But we appreciate your raising again. I know you're a busy man and be able to spend time and how much the Golden Knights have supported this. And it means a lot to know that you guys all get it. Yeah. So thank you and enjoy the rest of the day. And I know the Jets.
Okay.
All right, the roundtable of guests continue, and I've had to pull two together just because in our clock here, time is running out before the championship game of the NCAA Frozen Four. Mitch and Mitch. Yes, I know people are tired of that joke, but we're not done with it yet. All right, so who do we have here today, gentlemen?
I'm Vince Talavera, Tamazi, Avalanche and New York Ranger collector, and a Denver Colony.
I'd say that's a good mix. I pick up the East Coast accent, of course, and the living in Denver makes sense. And you are?
I'm also Mitch.
Actually, I'll have you hold that up for me. All right.
I'm also Mitch.
Yes.
Benjamin, a New Jersey Devils collector, based here in Las Vegas.
And you guys really aren't that far apart. not a bad drive from Denver, and you what 30 minutes from here ish somewhere around.
Yeah,
So-
drive from them was 11 hours. Break it up, get some lunch in the desert somewhere.
Or find a body in the desert somewhere.
Find a
But,
body in the
I
desert.
mean, it is the desert. So you brought like, almost all Avalanche and then a couple of
did.
Nordiques in there. And
Yeah.
God, those Nordiques are beautiful. And I know the ones that are out now are really expensive, but the originals are just
Yeah,
so nice.
yeah, I purposely put the Sackett that I have, my 293, next to the Michushkin 2025, 2026 Avs Heritage Northeast together because I wanted to show how well the Avs and fanatics, I guess, did these new jerseys. They look really good. And they look very close to the originals.
At least giving it some solid credit there. How was the wear on the new one?
It's surprisingly pretty good. A lot of these jerseys that the teams are wearing just for a few games, the wear is few and far in between. But Chushkin has some team repairs on it, paint transfer. So I was pretty happy with it.
And I wish I always look at your team's options, and I wish they would zoom in more or give you guys some better photos to kind of look at before they post them.
Yes, it's a little bit of a problem. I do have some collectors like Frank Knight, some of the other bigger collectors that will ask the team to send them the original photos before the auction ends so they can see if they can photo match the jersey that they're interested in before.
Wow, that's nice that they at least accommodate that.
They will do it, yeah.
And then you've got a pretty good mix. I mean, you've got New Jersey Devils in there. You have Anaheim, the Mighty Ducks movie jerseys for this stuff. I completely forgot on what you had on this end of the table because I love the other end so much.
Yeah, this weekend was about supporting University of Wisconsin, bringing what I had for that game later today.
Yeah, in an hour. And good luck to Wisconsin, as I am from Illinois, at least root for the team right above me. So what have you, again, being local, I know that helps, but what got you into University of Wisconsin?
I grew up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Which is very important. And it's also my tie to being a New Jersey Devils fan. Grew up in proud. Been doing for many, many years. But I think what's exciting about this event is having that college commitment, having all of the diversity of fans and players here. That's really able to showcase that connection that you see players do.
And being in this room, one, how's it been just to be able to get to put faces with names and talk to so many people?
I think faces with names is really important. Decade over decade, the names change, the collectors come and go. But you need to understand and that's what you want, but also originally you want to have a good, meaningful conversation with. It was talking about matching people. Like, how do you carry that? How do you help somebody else research their journey? Frankly, meeting a lot of new people here in Vegas this week. It's been a tremendous walking crowd.
And I guess that's for you being a local. How many other local people have you met? Because I know we've had a lot of people walking in that are from all over the country because of the games. Have you a lot of? Because I know the Golden Knights advertised this and that. So, did that seem to draw in people that maybe didn't know this hobby existed?
I'm by no means an expert. I don't have any examples for that. But I do think that that's the way that a lot of fans do come connect with teams like the Golden Knights sell at the arena. You have to walk by it on your way to get popcorn, and you start to connect the dots. That you don't have to buy this cardboard. You buy a piece of fun.
Yeah.
And it's bigger, and you can actually put it on and not just put it in a thing. What's the most, besides your own amazing collection? What's the most interesting piece you've seen in these? Either one.
I was going to say your sacking.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I got a lot of great comments on the Joe Sackett 92-93 Lord's Stitch.
Because nobody sees that one. I mean, that's such a unique.
Rare shirts. He has the Stanley Cup jersey.
Yeah.
From 1995 that he explained to me was recycled by the devil. What you tell the story?
Yes, exactly. It was recycled by the devil as much as that was, and this is actually the cup lifter. Today, one of the feature things I brought was every member of the 1995 New Jersey Devils that played college hockey. That was actually the NHL record. 13 players on the cup that year had played college hockey, and it was left the record that stood for 22 years.
Wow, that's an awesome story.
And then one of the ones that I saw yours was neat with going back to the Hobie Baker is you had one that was worn by a winner and recycled from a previous one.
Absolutely wild. I brought up Brendan Morrison today, Hobie Baker winner in 1997 from Michigan. And what's interesting is after running from school, he joined the Devils, played minors as a draft choice, and he had a call up in December. Scored his first goal away in a red shirt, which I believe is sitting on the table. It has an ultra-fill nameplate on top of an Airnet jersey, dated from 95 to 96. The jersey itself is actually Neil Brockman's jersey that was recycled. Neil Brockman being the very first Hobie Baker winner.
Yes.
And it was that on Brennan's back, what I believe will be that game. If anybody has any photos, please send them in.
That's crazy though, that as we talked about it with your stuff, even into the early 2000s, they were still recycling jerseys. Just such a weird thing, but I guess if team doesn't want to spend a lot of money, I mean, it's how you do it for especially guys that aren't big names. It's a cheap way to go on. We find out.
Your Blues did it, right? They recycled a lot.
Up through about the 90s, 98, 99, they kind of quit doing that because they were starting to sell a lot more of it at the store. But yeah, they did that a ton, stripping nameplates, and even today they clear stuff out of the closet that they find that the nameplates are gone, and we've been able to link them to certain players via photo matchup and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy what teams did and what you hear in some cases teams still do on a very much minor level. But what is, I mean, what's it mean to be in this room today? Or be at any expo this today being the one happening right now?
I just love how this hobby brings everybody together and these friendships, and a lot of it's done online, and we're all friends on Facebook pages, collecting pages, and then when you find, like he said earlier, when you finally get to meet somebody, place face with a name, and build relationships, and schmooze hockey and the hobby, it's fantastic, and that's what makes it so worthwhile to me. Is the people.
And we've been standing all day and just everybody's just been cycling, of talking and looking at stuff, and it's so fun to watch. Finally, as we're wrapping up the day before you guys head off to the game, and some other of us are hanging around, people were finally starting to sit down. But it's been crazy to just see how many times people cycle the room, and every time you go by, you see something different, or here's yet another story, or tell me about this. And just the foot traffic from the people in town for the games too.
Yeah.
Now, I think I know who you're going for.
I have affiliations to both teams.
Okay.
So I have friends. I was telling him earlier, I have friends in Madison that, I know Mark Johnson, legend. And the Warriors, their whole family played Division III sports. A couple of them in hockey. So it's pretty big hockey town, Madison, for sure.
I'll ask you first. Who wins and what score?
I don't be mad. I think the DU probably is going to be favored. I think. I mean, I may be completely off base with this, but I think DU will take it.
You don't think they're tired with double overtime, playing the late game?
That goalie, I mean, he reminded me of Mike Rickard. Like he was just standing on his head. Because I thought Michigan was the better team, to be honest with you. Save their bacon. So,
and I think I have an idea.
4-2.
Okay. No, I think I have a good idea which team you're.
It's 40 years ago, Wisconsin lifted the title, Milwaukee. They're going to do it again tonight. I'm going to put on my 2006 Frozen 4 jersey and walk over to the game here in a few minutes. And I believe they're going to grind it out in like a 2-1, 3-1 situation.
There you go.
And I mean, I watched watched the game the other night, and your goalie, I mean, just shut it down. And honestly, your whole team just shut like out who they were playing.
North Dakota.
Thank you. It's been a long day of talking to people, but I mean, just completely shut them out. And talking to the North Dakota fans earlier, said that's a team they just didn't expect to see how they played. So with Wisconsin's goalie standing on his head with the first one, I mean, looking at both, I mean, it's going to be. I think it'll come right down to the wire.
Wisconsin wins. I'm happy for mine.
Everybody was celebrating.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no celebration like anywhere else than here in Vegas to do it. I mean, we were at the game in St. Louis last year and watched Western Michigan, and first ever college game I've been to. Just watching that atmosphere and how that worked. But Vegas is going to blow that times 10, no matter who wins.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you earlier and feel terrible about it, but at least we got you on for a few, give you a chance to finish packing up, and then head across the street and watch one hell of a game.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Of course. Thank you guys. With a guy that everybody, I think, know if they don't know your name in the hobby, well, too bad for them. You guys have been around a long time, Detroit Hockey Company. Welcome, Brian. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks, Jason. That was very kind of you to say that.
And we talked when I saw you earlier this morning. It was either 9 or 10 years ago. Met you for the first time up in Chicago Frozen Four Expo, and here we are now in Vegas.
That was a fun time. Yeah, there's a lot of great hockey that's happened between them.
I mean, it's all of that and the number of the stuff we've seen change and the hobby with jerseys and everything else. How are things at Detroit Hockey Company?
Things are going great. One of the best and funnest things that's happened is the advent of the Expo, where it's quite organically the collecting communities come together in all these great towns, including in Detroit, where we celebrated our 25th Expo. I think we might be the longest running contiguous Expo in the country.
Yeah, because the Nova just hit 20.
We were there, and it was great.
And I love Francis wearing the 20-year jersey he had made just for the event. But it is crazy how over, in your case, 25 years, just how many more of these have come about and where they're coming and the attendance and who else is coming with the NHL teams getting involved in that. I mean, 25 years ago, did you expect that?
I didn't see it coming. No, that we've had to really evolve and change with the times. 25 years almost before we became Detroit Hockey Company, we were avid collectors, and when the trainers would sell jerseys, it was to supplement their income, and that was actually a part of the culture of hockey. And then when they realized they were worth money, you wouldn't be able to buy one or two anymore. You had to buy both sets.
Right.
So talk about changing the times. And that's when we formed the Detroit Hockey Company, because the only way we could get the jerseys we wanted was to buy them all. So we had to find homes for a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's easy to move one or two. Is it easy to move an entire team? But I guess for you, when you did, what was the first team you worked with on a full set?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
When you got that first set, how did it go? How quickly did those move once somebody realized, oh man, they now have the entire team and I can pick and choose who I want?
Fairly quickly, actually, because the good part was there would be maybe a set one or a set two. And there a lot of the times when the player was traded, they didn't bring in the new jersey. They take the nameplate off and
recycling. Yep.
Yes. So a whole set of shirts would be 30 years. It wouldn't be what it is today, which there's nothing wrong with how it's being done today.
No.
But those were different times. So you would have to find homes for maybe 20 shirts or 25 shirts at the most. If you got like a Homer or what's that, or if you got them all, then it would be 50, but it was still doable and manageable. And that's where, our catalogs, which was very rudimentary, if you will.
But they worked.
Yes. So we keep doing it that way, just out of, a nod to history and just a way of we want it to always be that.
And you know what? And even today, every couple months I go out, I just kind of make the cycle of different pages and look at yours and that. But yeah, the PDF catalog and all that stuff in it is it works and it's I mean, you guys have set it up and broken it down so easy over the years. It's why change what's good?
Sure. Yeah, it's our way of staying active in the hockey community, and the people can interact with us on their terms, on their timing, and really just quickly find their areas of interest and specialty. And that's a big change that has also happened since we started that.
Oh, but I mean, and social media plays such a big role. I mean, start 25 years ago, 2020 or 2001, smartphones were not smart quite yet.
No.
But I mean, how much has that kind of stuff helped you as well? I mean, websites were the big thing then, and then Facebook or sorry, MySpace first, and then Facebook, and that. How much did you see that change with how Detroit Hockey Company was out there and people noticing you guys?
Well, that's a huge change and something that's pretty fun to talk about. You know, right in the beginning, we were like, yeah, because we could tell people we're not breaking orders, but we have a website.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh man.
But that was the cool big thing.
Yeah,
if you could put
say
that together.
Yeah, now
yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, well, how are you in business without one, buddy? So,
or you have a website? I just go look at your Facebook.
Right. And then Facebook came around, and then, you know, we have Facebook, we have the website, we have the collectors forums, and all the other places that we try to put our image so people come find us. So there are a lot of mediums. We have direct emails, we have email coming into the website, we have, you know, lots of traffic and DMs coming through Facebook. So in the beginning, where we would actually click and put stamps on envelopes, which we still do, believe it or not, there are some of the collectors that we've known since the beginning days who don't do the internet. They're still analog people, and we love them. And they're some of, you know, our closest friends. So it's evolved quite a bit. Yeah, and that's another part of the meeting the people where they are.
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, and as we look back of us, and I mean, number of times people are going to listen to this podcast and go, "Good, would he shut up about how old he is?" I'm almost 48 years old, and I started early 20s, but even just that time is looking at how much things have changed, how how accessible the jerseys have become through teams directly, and how companies like yours have stayed the same, not in a bad way, but stayed the same in a good way, and have not strayed from what works or how things are, and just how many companies have come and gone, and oh yeah, we're going to do this, and 1 or 2 years later you never hear from them again, or because I can do this the new way. But you guys have just stood with it. You're that awesome logo that everybody knows, and just you just stayed on that one track. But it's not a jumping with the newest thing or tweaking how you do stuff. That isn't always the best way. When everybody likes how you do it, no reason to rock the boat or do anything differently.
Yes, and you more or less have to stay current with the times, and as time goes forward, things accelerate. So it is, to a young person, they might laugh, but to somebody who's been in it for a couple of decades, reinvent yourself. You know, buying whole teams now, you know, the fanatics and some of that, the monopolies are even bigger and bigger. That
unfortunately,
you know, the hand that sort of guides the whole industry is you know, one hand. So
right,
but that doesn't mean it's over. It just means, you know, we participate slightly different. And so while the source is the source, and that it's the teams or the people that are selling the new stuff, there's decades of stuff that's out there still to be discovered. There's people who have collected things that maybe are aging out, that are looking for an avenue and a trusted source that they can say, hey, help us find new homes for these. And we do that. And we're doing a lot more of that. And it's pretty gratifying because we can make so many people happy.
But part of it too is probably because you built that relationship 25 years ago.
Yes.
And you've
they may have bought jerseys even a couple times over your existence, but they know you and they know your reputation. And yes, as the older collectors, all of us age out or come up with a future plan, and we will do an episode of what to do, planning for the end kind of thing. So we've had enough people ask what should happen. Or what do you guys suggest? And we've talked to different people that have gone through that or helped somebody else go through that. But it's the number of collectors that aren't active on social media at all because they either, I'm going to say this negatively, but don't want to share their stuff or don't want it out there because they don't want people reaching out, whatever. But they enjoy the collecting and the buying things. But then once they're ready to move on, there's guys like you that they do know that they can trust and have been around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's really big. And we always started out, now when you're young, you think you're going to live forever. We certainly did. And now people call us and they talk about their will. And, well, my kids aren't really interested, but, I want to make sure that if I'm not around, that these things help my family.
Right. Or if I don't do something, my kids will have a garage sale and these will be $10 a piece.
Yes. That's their concern too. So yeah, it has not full circle, but there's a lot of other aspects.
It's spinning that way.
are factoring in, and that's okay.
But and I mean, how it's crazy back when you started, how few teams did their own stuff, and now how many teams have learned that we can keep the money in house and not, and unfortunately, some for you, not work with a third party like Detroit Hockey Company. And I always appreciate it with seeing when you had all the Coyote stuff, seeing what you had and what was available and that kind of stuff. It's just amazing to look through the list. And teams have realized either they can do it in house and how important it is. The hobby's not just we can make a little bit of cash, realizing that people really do care about this stuff. And I mean, even today, having BGK Authentics here, us in St. Louis with the Blues, the Kings and San Jose Sharks, all those teams realizing that expos are important and going other places. I mean, talking to Bill, I think at like 10 or 10:30 this morning, BGK Authentics was just blown away at the response of them being here and how much stuff had already moved.
Yes.
And it's amazing to see. I mean, 25 years ago, what was the first expo? Well, it's 25 plus years ago. Would you expect an NHL team, people to show up or even have a presence of something at an expo?
No, definitely not. And I would say in the Midwest, St. Louis, Detroit, Chicago, those are cities where the collecting is not. Yeah. People have been collecting stuff because the teams like the Red Wings. Yeah. So, a lot of legends have come through, and a lot of people have in their private collections, if you will, a stick or a pair of gloves or something from so many of the greats that have played in Detroit. So, we would never have seen the Red Wings go up, and they evolved their thing really well. We do now even have the alumni who come and participate at the expo. So that's pretty fun.
Oh, and that's such a fun part of it too, because it's bad. We're their people. We even me as a Blues fan, if there's alumni, Red Wings alumni in the room, I'd enjoy talking to them because I watched them play against my team.
Yeah.
And watched that Blues and Red Wings battle constantly back and forth and the crazy fights or the different things that happen. And you have respect for regardless of what team they played for, because they may have scored on my guys, but that's hockey history.
So many Red Wings fans are still brokenhearted that Adam Oates wore the blue jersey with the note on the front for so many years and he wasn't still in a Wings jersey. And I'm sure vice versa, Lee Norwood being the Red Wings.
Yeah.
So there's so many examples throughout history that way. It's collecting fun because if you get one, then you want the other one too to go with it because their story isn't just in you.
Well, and I talking about this earlier. with a couple of the collectors here is one of our collectors won't use his name because he was unable to make the show, but got Mark Stone's jersey from earlier this year where Braden Shen ripped the whole front of it down. Got in a fight, ripped the whole front of the jersey. He picked that up, and he wanted Braden Shen's white Blues jersey when it came up for auction. Unfortunately, Braden Shen took it when he was traded because he was on the road at the CBA. So they offered that one and he took it. At least it's with him, not floating around somewhere else. But I was able to reach out to the Blues on my buddy's behalf just to confirm that. And it's nice having a good working relationship with them that they will share that info. Said, yeah, all the traded guys took their white because they were on the road at the time. Okay, awesome. Know where it's at. Appreciate the info, means a lot. But it was cool for him to try and make that both sides connection. And he's not a big Blues guy, but he likes the Knights and he wanted the other side of that jersey to be able to pair them together.
Yeah.
So it's just different reasons why we go after something or pick a certain thing. And talking to some other guys, oh, I wanted this jersey because I was at that game, or these different things. We all have different reasons, but the end is all the same. We collect these jerseys and we want to have the history that we can put on or hang on the wall or show off in some way. And then we come to expos like this to pack multiple suitcases or like Mitch with a giant trailer, whatever it is to bring all this stuff here. Or as others, as I talked to some people that I didn't bring very much, it just doesn't matter. You could have brought one or even zero. You're still a collector. You're here to share stories and put the names to faces via that happen via social media or you mailing stuff with a stamp and an envelope too. But I mean, as we're talking, getting later in the day, people are tearing down but we were here at 6 a.m.
Yes,
and we'll be exhausted later, but it's so worth it.
It's been so gratifying today to hear probably more than 20 people come up and say, I still have something in my collection that I found at your website or I found on your list. I was looking for the longest time and there it was. And I'm so happy. And it's just great to hear those stories because that's what it's all about.
Of course. And your catalogs, your descriptions were always solid. I mean, even if just scrolling through stuff, you'd see you always had a short, usually fairly short, but solid enough that go, ooh, I'd like that one may be the one I want to pick. And then I knew you could reach out and say, hey, can you send me pictures or tell me more about it? But there was never a question, whereas you saw even on some of the Facebook posts and stuff where people, and it's easier with pictures, but still doesn't give much of a description. Hey, here's the jersey set 2 this year. And you just post pictures with it. Be descriptive because some of the stuff doesn't always show up or it's easily missed. Or if I'm looking at it on a phone, it's harder to see certain things. But yours was always a catalog to be able to look at and go, okay, heavy wear, these repairs or jersey torn like this. I mean, you were always solid about that and just made decisions easy.
Well, thank you. Yes, we always tried to take a little extra time because the way we would say it is we like to speak the language of collecting. So if you can really look at something and come up with one or two distinguishing, defining attributes of that thing that makes it unique, then that might be the one.
For sure.
You can save everyone a lot of time.
Right. And if there's you put issued or super light wear, then and person wants something heavier, so they can find one that fits their needs without I say bugging you, not the right word, but reaching out all the time. Well, what about this one? Or what about this one? You kind of have a starting place where you can narrow things down. There may be a question on a couple of I'm looking for this kind of wear, whatever, but you're not looking at 20 jerseys, you're looking.
And some of the collectors, they really take that quickly because we put the new catalog out and then everyone knows, okay, now it's time to go look at what's new. And then they can quickly click into the website and get the full description.
Right.
Full everything. So then they can see blow for blow what is the left sleeve, right sleeve, what's going on.
And then go to Getty or wherever else and see if you can photo match.
Oh yeah,
that.
the next step for a lot of collectors is pretty neat. And some of the times it's like, oh, we should have done that. We sold way too low.
But you know what? It's all part of the business. Just like, I mean, even been business as long as you're probably always learning something new, or maybe if we do it, try this one a little bit this way, or whatever else. I mean,
Oh yeah, the nuances. There's so many things going on in teams and what they're doing. Being with all these people here that know the West Coast team so well, and having those conversations today made us better.
oh yeah, and you never stop learning. I mean, the first time, say, you know what, I've learned enough about whatever team I focus on, and then you find out, okay, there's 5 things that you didn't know because this one season they did this weird stuff with jerseys that people forgot about, or it just now came to light.
Yes.
I was talking with some collectors a bit ago on, there was just a post the other day about the Panthers. And there's a couple years, a handful of jerseys that had the retail tagging in the neck because they either needed extras, ordered some, and they came that way, but they are legit proven on ice gamers. But for a lot of times you were told if you see that in the neck, that is faked or whatever, even if there's wear on it. No. And there were 10 examples and photos of these jerseys, and oh yeah, was a COA or a set tag in there and a photo match it to these. But you've heard so many times is nope, those are all fake. Don't they're not real. But then okay, we've just and I didn't know that until reading that post yesterday.
Yeah, we discovered that in the teams we knew like the back of our hand, the Coyotes. There would be certain circumstances where a player would get acquired and they would be on the road, or something had to happen quickly and they would do something that would be out of the norm. Well, this jersey doesn't have a set label, but look at the, peel back a couple layers and then it makes sense.
Yeah, they've been on the road for 8 games and then happened to pick this guy up and built it quick.
Yeah, and so you couldn't have even flown a nameplate from Phoenix to the game in time for it. So the one that's on there, yeah, it's not the one, but those are very few and far between example, but they make the hobby richer too, because after you see the circumstances, sometimes it's like, oh wow, yeah, there could only be this one.
Yep.
This is the one. You've proven to me because because of the circumstances, it's so great.
And one of the things I always thought was cool with the Coyotes too is flipping them inside out and seeing the writing on the inside of the logo.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them, I think probably most of them, you're the expert in that area. It had either the set stamp or the stuff directly stitched onto the hem. But you always had that writing on the back of the logo. So it was cool to flip that over and see what was written. And sometimes there'd be a couple other little notations with it. But it was just kind of a neat other thing that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Yes. And it was neat. Yeah. Because some of those logos got a little crowded because in years where the team didn't make the playoffs or they did make the playoffs, that would determine what they wore in the preseason year. So some of those shirts had war experience.
Had a whole novel in behind the logo.
Yeah.
But that's what makes that cool. It's not something you see from the outside. Just flipping it inside and out tells a whole nother story.
Yes, it does.
And it is just neat to see all these nuances and as we get older and as younger collectors come in, even recordings like this down the road will, as long as people go back and listen, will help them understand, oh, that is a thing, or I should go look for that. And they may own a jersey for a few years, never turned it completely inside out. Look at the hem. Yep, there's a set stamp. Oh, I didn't know this is the back and like now it was worn in the preseason or this other stuff. It's just never stop learning, never stop looking at your jersey a different way. Or you may pick up a jersey today and, oh yeah, here's these marks and that. And then you realize something else is on there just because you had tunnel vision on these 3 things.
Sure. And even to your point about looking in the whole jersey, some of the early years where teams are putting set labels in the jerseys, they were applying them behind the press. So if you were entering the hobby in the era where you were always looking in that rear hem spot,
yep,
and you didn't see it, it might throw you off. but a little closer look, you'd be like, well, it's there. And then you could easily go on the internet and say, oh, it's gotta be. That's where it's supposed to be.
And you've had Blues jerseys in the past from different years. You'd have some where it was maybe in the neck, it may be down low in the hem.
Yes.
Handful of years, it was in the arm.
Yeah.
So
some inconspicuous.
Yep. So it's like, unless you knew to look for that, you might have a COA that tells you whatever, but until you flip that inside, oh, that's where this one is. And it varied year to year. And now most teams seem to have pretty solidified where they're putting stuff. But it's so crazy to look at over the years, just what teams did and how and why and how much that's evolved. Getting back to today before we wrap this up, because I know you're wanting to get your stuff packed up, and it has been a long day being here since 6 a.m. What's the surprise piece you've seen in the room today?
Couldn't really even narrow it down to one. It's pretty overwhelming when the Knights come in with all of their stuff, the team that they have. You know, you're looking at hockey legends, you're looking at Mark Stone and Jack Eichel, and it goes on and on and on. So those are really fun. Some of the vintage stuff that was here. I saw one piece I was able to. So we'll
and that's gotta make you feel good.
Yeah, going into our personal vault. So that's makes me feel super good. And then just the amount of stuff that was in this room, it's unparalleled right now.
And as I kind of just tried to describe for people, and we'll have pictures up too, along with the podcast pictures and video, is it's such a wide range, especially with you guys coming from the Midwest and people from all over bringing such a wide variety. I mean, there were teams coast to coast here today. It wasn't just because it's in Vegas, you've got the Avalanche and you've got San Jose and the Ducks and things like that. You really do have stuff across the country.
You really
and throughout. I mean, I think if we didn't have every team here today, we were very close.
I agree. I think every NHL team was well represented.
Oh,
and it was really interesting to see the people that had interest in the minor league teams.
Right. And I love the minor league, especially it's the older stuff, is what they did with their designs and different things. And it's such just a different look, and see how they do some of the alternates and every team does the crazy stuff now, but what teams used to do when it wasn't as mainstream.
Yes.
And how they came up with stuff and how they did the designs. Now it's, you turn out those sublimated jerseys and this week is SpongeBob and 2 weeks from now is whatever else. But when teams did maybe 2 a year of some kind of specialty outside of St. Patrick's Day and things, and those were just super cool. And you look back now and go, oh, I remember hearing that through the grapevine, because again, pre-social media, we heard about it in the forum.
Love it.
But, it's crazy to look back at all that. And again, knowing your guys' name from basically when I started collecting going forward, and you're still here and you're just like you ever were, and don't change.
Well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. We really appreciate it.
And we appreciate you willing to come out this way. And I was talking to Paul about kind of was he's like, oh yeah, Detroit Hawks. I'm like, I haven't seen them since Chicago. And it's, well, I couldn't honestly, I probably haven't talked. I may have bought something from you guys since then. I'd have to think about it for probably an hour, but it's just seeing faces and names that have always been around, but also again, interviewing a 23-year-old San Jose Sharks collector that started a couple years ago and has 50 jerseys. It's neat to have us old timers around, but see all the new up and coming. One of the other guys in the other room gets, again, local collector. Oh yeah, I'll get one or two. Now has a table and a full display. It's just, but it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's nice to see people always coming in, but wanting to come here and learning from the experienced people.
Yes.
Well, Well, thank you again, one for coming out here and also willing to sit down and talk and catch up. And it's just, I hope everybody enjoys that didn't make it listening to stories of all of this and our rambling.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. Thanks for listening to my stories.
Oh, hey, that's, you know what? That's how we learn. And we'll go back and talk to guys locally and, hey, you missed this, or it was so fun to hear about these things. And the number of messages I've had on Facebook of, I saw that in a picture, look for that. It's all part of the hobby and just makes it fun.
Yeah, and it's nice to be here because then it's like, wow, these guys are accessible.
Exactly. And just this environment. I mean, every expo is great, but Vegas just feels different.
It does.
That the Vegas energy is just crazy. Well, thank you again, and I hope you and the wife have safe travels home.
We were. Thank you.
The guest carousel continues with Anthony and Eric Rosa. Where are you guys from? From San Jose area?
The San Jose area.
Okay. Yeah. That's a just a few San Jose jerseys in your collection. What got you guys started in collecting?
2 years ago.
2 years, that's it. My God, I mean, you have pile. Of course, it is an addicting hobby. So, what got you started in it?
So this is really man. Sticks. Well, I guess first it was cards, but it was like cheap cards, because the sharks are bad. So if you buy.
Funny how as your team does good or bad, the prices of things go up and down.
So yeah, it started with cards, then it evolved into sticks, and then sticks turned into looking on eBay and get recommended jerseys. Like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to have. That's how it started.
And of course, you're in San Jose. Were you going? I'm assuming you were going to games and stuff then. Okay. And did you know at that time that there was a hobby that you could buy the players on the ice and buy their jerseys?
What do you think?
I had no idea. This was my son. He's the one who introduced me to this hobby.
So he got you hooked. That's something you don't hear hardly ever.
Well, it helps you share for the sport. Like it was like, stick. Like game you stick and it's sees jersey. Well, that would be kind of cool.
I'd like to match that with that stick.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, as you found eBay and stuff, did you find Facebook groups, or how'd you find out that this was such a big deal?
That was all him. Facebook groups.
I just got lucky. I don't know what happened, but somehow I think somebody recommended a Facebook group, or I don't know how it happened, but I stumbled across it, and then here we are.
And then you realize you're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Big budgets, awesome players, and then started talking to, assuming to Paul and everybody in the San Jose, the Teal group, and this the old guy walking behind everybody.
Yeah.
Just wandering the floor.
Yeah. Amazing people, gosh. Through this hobby, I've met the nicest, just the coolest people, just the information, this hobby just been great. Something I get to share with my family.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it is so many, in the hobby, it's sometimes it's a husband and wife, sometimes it's a father and son, father and daughter. I mean, and again, I think you're the first one where the son brought it upwards. But it's so cool. But I'm assuming your whole family is here. I can see. Are they all interested in collecting, or are they just kind of along for the ride?
Not at all. Not at all.
One of them there. Yes.
Okay, so it continues to grow. What was your first jersey you got?
2013, 2014, Damp Oil. Wrote set 3. I think it's his last Sharks regular season jersey.
Oh wow!
He ended up signing for Agent New York, so it's like, we were going in between two jerseys. It was Mario Ferraro, 21-22, because that was the first game that we gone to as a family. So that would be cool to have.
Good connection there.
They were both reasonably priced, but it's like it's Damp Oil. He's an all time, Shark. So okay, well that's the one we're.
Yeah, I mean, tough decision either way. I totally get it. And as you got into it, how did you approach your dad with this? It's, hey, I'm really kind of liking this. I want to do more.
Well, it was something like we both kind of talked about. Oh, it'd be cool to just at first we just buy one and just like have it hung up in the house. And like, yeah, that's cool. We own that. And then you look at eBay and it's like, oh, we just got lucky just with the prices that were and the jerseys that became available. Because not all the time quality jerseys become available. So I think we just hit the right. We got into it at the right time where people were like offloading or something. So we picking up, favorites of ours from Sharks Pats, and it was really cool to be able to be like, hey, this would be kind of cool to have in our collection and just to start it. And he was like, what? Because at first like when it came to this like the equipment, it was like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's not, it's be cool to have a few pieces here and there, but the jersey, I think when we got it, like I saw his eyes light up, like it just like going back and watching the game, going back and reading the box score, going back and seeing the photos, like just, we've been Sharks for so long, so it's like being able to remember some of those moments.
You respect that history and what that is on the ice, and that especially you're right. I was getting jerseys before I left for the show. Is no matter what it is, you know it's coming because you open the box, you got to look it over, look for wear and all this stuff, and then you got to put it.
Yeah,
but it goes back to that connection. It's being a fan favorite, I was at that game, whatever it is that connects you so much tighter to particular jerseys or anything. And as you got started with this, how did you start learning about kind of say how things worked and kind of where the pricing fell and just some of those hobby rules, but things like just the learning process. How was that?
A lot of it was like surprisingly, it was not trial and error at all. It was something that we just approached like it's not something that we were gonna like internally be like, oh, like we're gonna take this so seriously and we're gonna so many true. It was just like playing it by ear, seeing what's in front of us, what's available. A lot of it, I think a lot of it was just because the Sharks were not very good. So people were, like I said, people were just, it's just, a lot of it was very portable. So it was no brain. Oh, we know that player, we know that player, that player. And so eventually it turned into, what it is.
And we need a bigger house now for just all the jerseys.
That's the plan.
How many are you up to now?
Just about hit 50.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a solid number to hit. And did you think it would grow as fast as it has?
Definitely not. This is not. I mean, for our first three, and then next thing I turn around, and it's like this whole closet's full. So it's.
And then your closet gets stuff taken out so you can fit some in there. And
so far, luckily, it's all in his room, so we're good there.
Yeah, it's a closet now, just sticks and skates and gloves. And
yeah, funny how it expands. Go ask Melly about her not collecting equipment that collects equipment. But yeah, as you pick, oh, I've got that jersey, but now there's the helmet or the gloves or the stick or the skates. Yeah, it's tried. I'll give you a recommendation. Don't get into goalie because it takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
I think I have 9 or 10 sets of pads and gloves, and luckily I have a whole separate building that I can put all that stuff in on my property. But yeah, that one will take up a lot of space, and you will take up multiple rooms. What's your favorite piece?
Oh, I'll let you answer it because I know we got the same answer. It's a no-brainer.
Mike Ricci.
What?
Wow. So an answer.
Wow.
Thank God this wasn't like Family Feud or something where you guys had to come up with the same answer. Chichu train.
So he for fourth, and he was the second player to ever score 40 goals in my Sharks.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one was special is because we both we geek out about this stuff, but like that one was like that's what my fandom started. So
and he's such a fun player to watch too.
It's incredible. And he's still around San Jose. You see him all the time. He goes to the Sharks, so like, it was Like that's the one. Like that is the museum, the centerpiece. Like that is. It was just awesome. That's mine. Like the Richie's cool. The Richie's great, but
I thought because we snatched it up before everybody else.
Yeah.
And you know what? And sometimes that is that hunt that, oh my God, is this what I think it is? And that jumping on it. I mean, that's part of it. The hunt for the jerseys and either find them in unexpected places, or sometimes you see them on going back to eBay and stuff, seeing them listed incorrectly or things spelled wrong, little things that kind of hides it, and you just happen to stumble across it.
All right place, right time.
Sure, and it's how much of that, and I think some of that with social media and Facebook and that, where people are posting stuff, is you have to be right on top, and even by 2 minutes, yeah, sorry, just sold it. I've had that happen and stuff. I'm either buying or selling, and it blows my mind how quick sometimes I posted stuff. I'll take it. Wow, I barely hit send. And funny with Chichu, back when the Blues affiliate was a Peoria Riverman. He actually played there for a season. I wanted one of his jerseys so bad. He was so popular, crazy money. And he still is. It's funny when you don't see them pop up often. They are still stupid money.
Yeah. He's like one of my favorites. Awesome to have like not just any feature, but that specific one.
Sure. Especially when you can tie it to something like that.
Yeah.
What is one that you hope to land someday? Your ultimate, we can stop that we have this.
Well, I don't know if this ever going to get stopped.
I mean, and yeah, and right after that came out of my mouth, I'm like, most people are going to go, even if I do, I'm not stopping.
Probably the one play on. I put that, I feel like his, what he was able to do starts in like that one would be special, or definitely Patrick Marleau. Like, a lot of the starts. I mean, you look at Joe Thorne. Joe Thorne was no shark, but Patrick Marleau being a shark, having the record for the 40, the most games playing in the NHL, like, that would be like, maybe that is the only one that I would like. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that one.
But it's part of it, like you said, is it is that hunt. It's okay. And it sounds like you've had a pretty good focus on things. When you got started, though, and as you got into it more, were you surprised where some of the pricing lands for some of these jerseys?
Absolutely. We were like, some of the people are selling sticks. We got some of our jerseys for price of a stick, like a price of skates. Like, so like, yeah, we've been very fortunate. Very fortunate. Like that, I think it's a lot of this hobby is a lot. Like really, it really is. Like, is the person going to make this available? And then, like you said, are you the first person to see it? Luckily we got two sets of eyes on everything.
It helps,
on everything. So it helps. It definitely helps. But
you and your sister, we got a third set.
We do have a third set. No, we really do. Really do. Yeah.
You caught the Eklund.
Yeah, we got Eklund Gamer. They just threw us a second set of jerseys on the. They never put jerseys on the website. She was like, "They're on our way to LA Expo." Like, oh, they put jerseys up.
That's really convenient timing too.
It was there's dead spots everywhere. Internet perfectly fine, and it was just like I said, it really is luck.
The clouds parted, the sunshine came down right to your car, and got it.
Yeah. I mean, we're all high-fiving in the car. It was great.
Then you can walk in the expo going, guess what we just got?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it made it hard. All right, well, I'm tapped out now. It's like,
right. We're not buying anything at the expo, but
yeah.
Now, how many expos have you done so far? So one San Jose, the LA one. Have you done them just this year?
This year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you go. So in October, pack your stuff and come to St. Louis for the St. Louis. That's more difficult. Just a long drive, or you can bunch of luggage.
I definitely want to make trips to the East Coast. I don't know if we'll bring everything that we have, but definitely
And that's fine. In my case, of course, with packing all the podcast stuff, that's what I'm trying to focus on. But I mean, we had guys bring 4 or 5 jerseys. So what? You're still bringing your passion. You're bringing, I want to show off these 5, or I'm going to bring 5 that I think I want to try and sell, trade, whatever. doesn't matter. You're there. You're hanging out with collective, meeting new people that you may not have talked to online, whatever, and just sharing like we've done all day today, just sharing time together and hearing your guys' stories. Because I would have never expected to hear you started first and drug him into it.
Well, it wasn't that dramatic.
Well-
It was just I mean, you should have seen it. Like, I mean, we're unpacking to the jerky. I mean, I said, I just lit up, and I had not seen a reaction like that before. He's like, "This is the coolest thing ever." And then it turned. So our second jersey, he actually surprised me. So he went and got it. One of our favorite players, growing up, you would know Scott Nickel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that is his last Sharks jersey.
Wow.
Playoff jersey, and he was just so eager to show me. He was gonna say for Christmas, like, he was ear to ear, smiling ear to ear. Go grab it. He went and grabbed it, and he opened it. Like, Merry Christmas.
What was that, like in October or something? Way before?
I think it was. Yeah, seriously, I couldn't hold it.
It's everybody listening and everybody in this room gets that because it's just yeah. Because you want to open that, you want to just look it over, and again, you're both so hooked into it, and it seems your family is too. You do want to share that right now. You don't want to wait because that instant gratification is what makes it. But the fact that you guys are all sharing this and sharing it quickly. I mean, you talk to some people that may take whatever their focus is 10 years to get 50 jerseys. But it sounds like what you're finding, what you're buying, what you're deciding on isn't just, oh, there's another Sharks jersey, there's another one. It's because it has meaning. It's you're being very thoughtful with what you're getting. It's not just to add to the pile. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you can get overly just into it. Gotta have another one because it has my team on it. Yeah. But it does the hunt and focusing more or picking things that do have a true meaning just make it more, especially because you guys can all share in that excitement.
Yeah, like once the jersey that maybe I had the player I haven't watched. I wasn't old enough. I'm not as old as the Sharks, so it gives you a reason to go back and learn about these people and their what they did for the organization or what their role was. Like, I think that's equally as important as maybe some of the jerseys that do mean more. I think it goes both ways. Like, I think you can how we approach it is part of it is if they played the Sharks, everyone has a role. Obviously it'd be cool to have the Joe Thornton, the Patrick Mahomes, and the icons, but the third liners, the fourth liners, it all it's a big puzzle.
Sure.
We're just picking up little pieces here and there, building that history, that kind of grand picture, what they might have gone through in a season, what they might have gone through in a playoff run,
or you're at that game and you got to see them do something that maybe didn't have a meaning to a lot of people, but it does for you.
Yeah, we were at that game when the Sharks got pumped 10-2, and we have a jersey from that game. It's it's that's just a special. It's just a fun moment. Being so angry at the Sharks for letting in 10 at home, back to back games. That was rough, but to have a jersey like that, it's a fun story to tell. Because when the Sharks end up winning, it's like, hey, I remember that I was there. It was very rough to watch, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
And actually, the question: how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, so yeah, and I've talked to. I think we had some other collectors on that started in their early 20s, and but again, you're getting started now, and like you said, looking back on the Sharks history and learning about guys that preceded you. You'll be able to carry that on way into the future and then continue to educate other people or get your kids into it down the road or help document this stuff because a lot of us are getting older. I mean, Paul has deep Sharks knowledge, but I know he'll pass it along to you as you guys do expos and stuff together and learn because that's at the end of the day, that's what all this stuff comes down to.
Yeah, I think what's also important, also to kind of document is like, yeah, like what style or not style, but how did the players like what does the wear look like on it looks different on Nike jerseys than it does, Fanatics or Adidas, so being able to document all that, like you might buy a jersey that you might not be able to photo match or it doesn't come with an LOA. So it's like being able to see, hey, this is actually a gamer, seeing how the equipment managers repaired wear in specific ways, especially like on the old CCM Toho, like I don't know about for every team, but on the Shark team, they very distinct like circles. Like, I don't know how I don't know specifically how, but I know, being able to identify that kind of helps you say, okay, well, I know that one is real, based on
Yeah, it's like a signature.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too is it as in the Reebok era when they went from the logo to the wording, you find years where they just covered that, they patched over the top of it. The jerseys carried over, so you could hold the jersey up and see the old logo behind the new one. Saw a post in one of the groups. Matter of fact, yesterday when I was traveling, and it was with Florida. They're finding, and they even showed up for different years that were Team Store used game jerseys because it had the extra tag in the neck. Is things like that that you don't really know about till somebody posts online, and it may not even be your team, but then you see that going forward, going, okay, now I may, if I decide I want a Florida jersey in this time period, I may find it with that, and it's not a one that they sent off somewhere to get lettered and they're faking that they've done that. We saw a number of years ago, I don't remember which team it was. Somebody had to grab a replica out of a store for a player for some reason, unknown reason. I think it was on a road, but the team store had the road team there, so they grabbed it, lettered it up for somebody, but it didn't even have a fight strap in it. But he wore it for a period till they could make it, whatever the heck that story was, but just oddball things like that happen that need to be out there and documented because you can say, oh yeah, all the jerseys were like this and basically in a box, and that's not true. They've had to do weird stuff because of oddball reasons.
Yeah. Every team, I'm not saying specifically every team does something different, but it's also important. Like, specifically, like we're not going to own a St. Louis Blues jersey. We're not going to own a Boston. Like our focus is specifically Sharks. So luckily, there's not that many years of Shark history. It's been 35 years, but the kind of focus in on that, being able to document, hey, for like the inaugural season jerseys for the Sharks, the first set where the jerseys weren't ready. So it was the inaugural season jerseys. So the press is a little bit weird. I think they call it a three-piece press where they had the stick is like painted on and they sewed that piece in. It's all funky.
And see, that's something that I've never heard before.
Well, those are the ones that were famous to fake.
Okay.
Right. So the custom crafted.
Yeah.
Like those ones are a lot of fakes out there. Like you wouldn't have known that. It's important to collect. I think be diverse in what you select. And obviously, our focus is Shark, so be diverse.
But at 23 years old, you're learning the first year what to look out for, what to share, and how they did things, and to be able to track that, and it's so cool to no matter what your team passion is or whatever type of focus you're doing in that passion is to be deep in it and know the little intricacies because you may be the next person that somebody reaches out 10 years ago saying, hey, I found this jersey. It looks off or looks this thing. And you can say, no, it's actually a gamer because of X, Y, Z. But you've come a long way in a very short while.
Yeah. It's that's a lot of, so not, I wouldn't say a painful process, but it's like, you only do with the information what you have. And so as we kind of collected and to kind of look at things, okay, that's what that is. Oh, that's what this is. And to know like, hey, check the fight strap, undo the fight strap, take the jersey inside out. Like, all those little things are important, my opinion, to really really see the whole, I guess the whole image of the jersey and to kind of get into like, okay, we know what to look for and filling in the elbows, just anything that we can do to kind of I don't know, just have it in the back of our mind, to look forward in other jerseys, that like I said, we got a bunch of jerseys that we can't even photo match, but we know they're authentic. We bought people that that's legit, and and looking at the board burn,
Sure.
elbow wear, and stiffness, so
And that doesn't mean that the sources you're looking at, that it doesn't mean that down the road you may not find some random photo somewhere else. I've had that happen a few different times. Found looking through Getty Images, couldn't find a match. I have a pair of Paul Correa Blues gloves. He spent a little time there. He's photographed a ton. So go through every and he always wore Easton gloves. Very obvious on the E. It looked like somebody smeared the Easton paint. I don't know how that happened, but a big smear. Went through probably 150 photos, nothing. Like, I know he wore them, came from the team. Maybe he was practice set, whatever. Weird with his gloves. 2 years later, I buy a Paul Correa bobblehead. My wife is a huge Correa fan in general. Get the Blues giveaway one. 3 sides of the box is a picture of the bobblehead. One side is the actual picture of him. There's the gloves in that photo. Why that photo was nowhere else anywhere, because the team photographer sends pretty much everything to Getty, but there it is, plain as day. So one of the things, and I don't know where all you go look for your photo matches and stuff, is I've even just put in the player's name, what team, and the year, and just go through Getty Images sometimes, because it's oddball what ones you'll find that, like the local things that don't exist anymore, local newspaper took pictures of, and a lot of them are out there. And then you can go in and a lot of times blow those up. So it's weird places like that for even some of the older stuff that you can find. So yeah, I mean, saying that, well, I can't find a photo match, and you're right, is those are probably very solid, but people sometimes get, I can't find a photo match for this. I don't think it's a game. I'm like, doesn't mean that it wasn't caught at the right angle, or there's some reason why that's not there.
Right.
Any other things like with the Sharks you want to try and get a piece of? I see you've got a handful of helmets over there.
Yeah.
Any other like just cool piece you want to get?
You can start. What would you like? Well, I also collect the gold pucks.
Okay. At least those are easy to store.
Those are very.
No, like he's very good. Now that I'm on the spot. All right.
It's funny how that seems to work, right?
In terms of like new stuff, I'm real. Well, Mike and me, Sam Dickinson, rookie, like that. Like if like that's the last year for this year, like I'm good. Because I mean, Sharks are looking something, and I would love to just have a chance to own something like that. That would be awesome.
And that's a good pick. I did expect you to say Celebrini, but
Celebrini is above our tax bracket.
Right.
We're not in the tax bracket.
Funny how it is for most people. I mean, it is. Is it crazy to you to see what those are selling for, and that they keep selling for?
We were fortunate. Then that's what it. It's good.
And you
play like it.
right, and it is fun to even as a non-Sharks person, just watching guys like that play. It's so enjoyable. I mean, me being St. Louis Blues fan and 3 hours south of Chicago, I hate them and all that, but I enjoyed watching Bedard because of just what he does, how he plays, and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, regards to the team that we like, seeing certain guys, just knowing that you're going to see them for a long time and see amazing things from them. Cool.
Yeah, celebrating pretty cool. But might have to sell up a little bit of the collection to get your hands on something like that.
Or everything to end up with one jersey. Yeah. But no, I think what you guys have is awesome, and it's fantastic to see you get your family started. Now, were you hockey before your kids were born?
Yes.
Okay.
So when the Sharks, I was still in high school, and I remember the newspaper picking the name. So yeah,
wow. So you've been day one. That is, it's awesome, but it's neat to see the reverse. I think honestly, I think it's the first time I've talked to anybody that's happened this way. But
awesome.
I'm excited to hear how your collection's grown, and we'll have you on remote podcast at some point too. join us on a Thursday night and let Paul ramble with you guys too, since he's a Sharks collector. But and I'll ask one more question since I thought of Paul's name. What do you think of the Fanatic store?
I mean, not as good looking as the Adidas, but it's the same. It's the same. Now, until they, assuming they're going to end up rebrand, whatever they end up doing after these, they've had the jerseys for 2 years. So I think it was after the second or third year that they have the ability to kind of change the jerseys. It's not the same material as the Adidas. I don't mind them. Like, end of the day, players are wearing them. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Nike jersey, like, there's the material, but at the end of the day, I'm not collecting Sharks. It's just Sharks. Like, they could be wearing whatever. It's Sharks.
But it's funny, you've seen, especially because some teams did wear Nike and not every team did. And what I think did you guys wear a Pro Player 1 year or two, or 1 or 2 years?
No, I think it went straight from CCM to Nike.
Okay.
For 2-3 years.
Because I know a few of the teams did the Pro Player 1, so those are a little bit different. And it's funny when you saw those kind of changes, but it is to look through the Sharks history and other teams to just see what brands they had and what differences they were. I will say for the Sharks, that kind of that Y neck where it was just open all the way down to about here, that real, I just thought that was a neat kind of out of the box setup. I think them and the Wild may have been the only two that did it that way. I think the Wild was the other one. Yeah. But excited to see your collection grow, and you guys are definitely down the road. We'll have you back on.
That would be awesome.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your time here in Vegas. And how long are you here till?
Monday.
Okay. You should stay till way late Monday and go to the Knights game.
No.
Well, guys, again, thank you so much, and safe travels home. It was great to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, Paul got a surprise today, and he was the winner of the most furthest traveled person to the Expo, your friend Martin.
It was a shock. We mentioned it earlier,
Yes.
hours ago when we were talking.
Right.
It's just
Seems like days ago with this Expo today. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a crazy day. So at this point right now, there's 16:42 left in the national championship game. Wisconsin's up 1-0 on Denver. I think just about everyone who went to the game in our group is cheering for Denver. So just giving you a sense of how long the day's been.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and for Germany, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, and I will do my best.
So, Martin, how was the trip over here? First of all, go back, and we mentioned a little bit earlier with Bill, but you, Paul bugged you when you over in Dusseldorf this summer about coming, and you told him no, and then you decided to heck with it, reached out to Bill, and worked it all out.
Yep. I thought in November the ticket prices were so well, which were offered, and I thought, I decided for me to have a break now, but these 5 days could be fun, and I said, I will surprise them. Nobody should know it. With one exception, it was Bill, because I wanted to have a Vegas Golden Knight shirts, and I tried my best to hide myself when I came in this morning, but Monica, 10 or 12 seconds, and then she knew who this was.
It was a shock, and you did a great job of hiding. I guess you decided not to stay at New York. You stayed at a different hotel.
Yeah.
Because kind of like last night when we bumped into Doc as he checked in.
Yeah.
The place is huge. Ton of people, and yet we still run into each other.
You can get lost in this place so easy.
So we probably would have found you if you were here.
But I wanted to be sure, and I knew the Tuscany. I can recommend it. It's a great place to be, not directly at the Strip. Good prices, great rooms, and I know it well.
So, what do you think about Vegas so far?
Sure, my first experience with Vegas was 36 years ago when I made a trip with my father. And I told him this was my first time, when I come back, I will marry here. And at this time, I didn't know my now wife. And 2 or 3 years later, I learned to know. And in 1995, we came to Las Vegas and we married in the neighborhood here at Excalibur in the Canterbury wedding chapel. And this was my really first, very.
I think that's awesome that you came to Vegas to get married. I love that. So, but it's changed a little bit since last time you've been here.
Yeah. And it was a time I didn't thought about hockey jerseys, and that is collectible. And I saw my first NHL game 2 years later in San Jose, 1998. And at this time in Vegas, I knew the NHL. I was very interested. I was able to watch games on TV in Germany. But the jersey fever came or started 4 or 5 years later.
And were you starting to collect stuff from NHL, or was it more from Germany?
No, NHL. And like a lot of people who did this or had this or started this hobby, semi-pro jerseys, then the real stuff, authentic jerseys with a strange strap behind. Okay, this was also not so. I sold everything again, and beginning of 2021, I started with Game 1 jerseys, Game Issue jerseys, and the first big contact was Mike Ray.
Pretty much everybody.
This was for a couple of years my main source to get jerseys here, and they had 23 teams under contract, and it was I was able to get nearly everything there, and also 5-6 years later, I started to concentrate on tough guy jerseys.
And that's a good pick. A lot of guys go that, but that's the ones with the most wear, and you get to see the cool fights and hunt down those. And
customizations.
Yeah.
Interesting jerseys, and I liked always these guys. And it's getting a little bit dirty, and yeah.
And did you have any trouble getting them over to get them shipped to Germany or anything?
You need a dealer who is a little flexible with the declaration, or you have a good you have to have a good friend who sent gifts. You have the whole year around birthday, and only discussion which I had at some point with the German customs officer was when I got in May or June in error a Christmas gift. This was a little bit strange.
U.S. is on a different calendar than Germany for Christmas, I think, or it's Christmas in July. So, say last time I met you was at the Chicago Frozen 4 Expo. I think we determined 10 years ago or 9.
9 years ago.
Okay.
It was right at this time 9 years ago, because I saw the picture just a couple of days ago.
Our Facebook memories come back up for that stuff.
Facebook memories,
yes. Makes it so we don't have to remember stuff on our own. So what's been your favorite thing you saw in the room today?
The favorite thing in the room were the people, which I already knew from former visits in California, the San Jose Sharks gang, and some other guys, Brian from the Detroit Hockey Company. And I learned to know, or I see people which I just knew from Facebook Messenger. Always very important, not just the jerseys. It's a networking, to talk with other people, to meet other people, and that's for such expos nearly more more important than a jersey purchase. No?
Sure. And I mean, and how many years now? I know Paul's gone over to several, but how many years now have they been hosting ones in Germany?
I guess the very first ones in Germany was very, very small in Frankfurt. No? At this time, I didn't know Stefan. Stefan is our main organizer for the expos in Düsseldorf.
Okay.
And we had very small meetings, 2 or 3 in the Frankfurt area. 2004, 2005, 6, around this time. And the real big ones started 2008, 9, 10, around.
They've been going on for quite a while, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do our expos every 2 years in the past. No? Everything else would be too much.
Sure.
But,
I know Paul'd love to go to Germany every year.
yeah. And
Yes, I would.
and he can come every year, no? But yeah, every 2 years is fine.
And I mean, seeing the pictures and the attendance, it's amazing what you guys put together over there too. And it's so great to see expos across the pond like that, and even us from afar that don't have the ability to get over there, just be able to share in that through pictures and that, and hear the stories. And like when Paul comes back and on the podcast and talking about what happened and things you looked at and some of the great discussions that carry over. But it is so neat to see where NHL jerseys end up and the kind of the pictures of some of the stuff that landed with collectors in Germany for different reasons.
There are a lot of NHL or North American jerseys in Europe. No? We had a big advantage 15, 17, 18 years ago. It was the difference between dollar and euro at this time.
Oh, yeah.
For us, were dollar purchases very, very cheap. No?
Similar to
No?
what you, and I've looked at the recent thing, but with us in Canada too, the exchange rate where we have a good advantage a lot of times if you're buying stuff in Canadian funds.
Yeah.
And yeah, the euro stuff I've seen over there, I look at it as like, wow, I'd love to have that, but it's such a swing.
Not anymore in the past years. No? It's more or less
A little
even,
bit more level.
But 15, 17 years ago, it was a big difference. And yeah, this might be a reason that some of our collections here in Europe, Germany, are not so bad. No?
Yeah, definitely makes sense. What are you still kind of going down the enforcer route, or have you more locked into other things now? You don't, unfortunately, we don't see as many true enforcers anymore.
Yeah, and this is a main reason for me is that I like older jerseys.
Sure.
90s jerseys in the 2000s. No? Not so much really old jerseys because they are too small. No? My main interest starts in the 90s. No?
And that time period is so good because what they look like, the wear, the enforcers, the fighting, that's just like the solid period, because you get into the later, I guess early 2000s more, you had the fighting, but you were starting to see it kind of drift off as the guys were coming up, and it just continues. Well, we see fights now, it's not the constant.
No. If you buy a fighter now, you have to take a Colasar from the Golden Knights, no? With 5 or 6 fights in season, and it's not a Taidomi with 30 fights. No?
Right now, you go through 5 fights in a couple of months.
Yeah, no.
And you'd see the bloods and the rips and the tears and all those things. And I understand why you don't see the blood and stuff now with the fancy chemicals to clean all that. But yeah, that's the time that you still see jerseys pop up online with there's blood stains, and it really is that.
But indeed, I like more the older ones, the Nike jerseys, minor league stuff, the SP jerseys, and then Bauer ones. No?
And so many different brands that have come up through different teams. We talked about that earlier with some other people. Is the Nike, the Bauer, and then like you said, all the minor league. You were in all kinds of brands depending on what the team, until they kind of standardized all that.
A big break was the edge stuff. No,
yes,
I was never a big fan of the edge stuff. Some designs were nice, but okay, everything else, 06 or 06 or 7 or earlier, for me, it was better or nicer.
Yeah, and the Edge 1.0s because of all the players hating them, and then when teams switched out of those, and the stretch, how extra stretchy those are, and
Toronto Maple Leafs, Edmonton Oilers, this were pajamas. No hockey jerseys. No?
Right. And even for bigger guys, those were, I mean, even if it was supposedly a bigger size, was so tight.
Yeah.
Like wearing a bicycle jersey.
Yeah.
So just looking around the room, was there anything that really surprised you in what was here?
What surprised me? Yeah, the number of Vegas jerseys, but this was not a surprise because we are in Vegas. No? But for the first couple of years when they came up, it was not easy to get them. No?
Or you had to have deep pockets to get them.
Yeah. Also, they were for 2 or 3 years with Mike Ray, if I remember right. No? And fortunately, it was not my first Expo. I've been, as we talked about, in Chicago, in Philadelphia. George is doing great expos there, and a small one in San Jose. And it's always nice to be here, to meet people, and to buy also a little stuff.
Sure.
I expected 2 or 3. Now I going home with 7. No?
Seven's a good number. Now, are you taking it back in your luggage, or are you going to have Paul ship some of them with?
No, so as 7 jerseys I will take in my luggage.
They know how tightly you packed if you had some play or not.
No, I have a nice suitcase, and it. Okay. The last trip when I was here, I had really trouble to get all the jerseys in my baggage. No? This can explain Paul better. No? I was really at the end with my nerves at this time. And he went to bed at midnight, and I was finished at 1 or 2 in the morning. But I got everything home. We bought an extra suitcase. I got everything through the customs with no questions, and I was happy. But this was the last time with such a big number. No? 7 is nearly nothing.
That's a very fair. I'm going home with a hockey bag, but at least it'll fold down and one more jersey than I started with. But
also by plane or by car?
Plane.
Plane. Okay.
So, yeah, that's 1,500-mile drive for me. So far enough not to be able to drive without taking a lot of extra days. So I mean, it's just. And Paul, we'll go back to it. We talked about at the very top of this recording is that we started hours and hours ago. How blown away were you when Martin walked up behind you?
I was totally shocked. No one spilled the beans at all. I guess that would have been Bill. And I was shocked to see you here. And this was great. It's a highlight of the Expo. Thank
you.
When you look, I mean, The amount of displays we had, the number of people, the amount of foot traffic we had in here was absolutely incredible. But this was the best part. So, very thrilled. And Monica, I think
I'm very happy that you not start to cry. No? This one again.
yeah. Monica agrees too. I don't know if we can hear her. The room's a lot quieter now because we're the last four in it.
Yes, we have broken down, and some of the guys broke down earlier than others just because of going to the game, and again they had pushed the game up to 2:30 and still going on at this time. They are in the third period.
1-1, 7 minutes left.
Ooh.
Denver tied it up, so they're going to be going for a while, maybe
right,
double overtime.
Or triple. I mean, you just never know. But with that, I wish Bill was here. He's running his stuff home, and we do want to get stuff wrapped up. Thank you again to you and Bill again for putting all this together. Bill, the guy in the ground, and getting us a lot of special things with VGK Authentics. Those guys were blown away. One for what was here, and two for the business that they did. They did do both $500 and $1,000 grab bags, whole rack of jerseys there. They had gloves, they had sticks. They really stuff at pretty much all levels for people, which is absolutely phenomenal. And it's great to see that support with Mitch and the Drink Your Face Off line of stuff, and of Patrick.
Display.
Yes, with public display. I'll let you hold that because I'm in a bad angle. But we even had some poker chips done. Those turned out absolutely cool. The lanyards for everybody. I think everybody really got a kick out of how those turned out. The nameplates for the tables. I mean, it's Vegas. We said it at the beginning. You got to go over the top crazy. And for any of the other expos or people thinking about launching one again, you don't have to go nuts. It was just because this Vegas environment, we had to go big and bold and absolutely crazy. We will. I hope everybody enjoyed the podcast. All the people we talked to, and as always, people get missed and get busy. Oh, the other I want to also. And I'm blanking out on his name. I should have had it written down. The in-game announcer for the Golden Knights. He was an amazing interview. He did a drop for us. You will hear maybe hopefully at the beginning of this podcast. I also will get a video put up later. He did an in-room announcement too that was just awesome. So all those little things in that have just been absolutely amazing. So I know we'll all be tired. A bunch of us are here through Monday or Tuesday for Golden Knights and that hanging out. So everybody else enjoy that. But I hope you enjoy the podcast. Reach out. You have questions. We posted a bunch of pictures. People are reacting to those already. But really has just been, even starting at even before 6 a.m., it's been an amazing day. So with that, if we can get an interview with Mitch, I will tie that in. If we have to tie him to a chair, but I will work that in here as well. But again, thank you for everybody that came out, traveled far. Martin, you're the winner by
far.
I mean, by most. I believe there was we had what, 100 international traveler?
Tim from Canada. Yes.
So we have one Canadian, one German, and everybody else in the U.S. But Martin, safe travels home for you as well.
Thanks a lot.
So glad you came out. But everybody enjoy the podcast, and we will see you on the next one.